Start your show now, press 1 to hear.
Your show is scheduled to start in 4 minutes, 31 seconds. Four minutes until showtime. Three minutes until showtime. Two minutes until showtime. One minute until showtime. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, We will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the
Tony Bruno Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on this last week of January 9th, 2018 still? Yes. You are looking live at Radio Row. And all that's missing from our location here in the Mall of America, in the food court of the Mall of America, is a throne of swords. And I can't believe Robin didn't manage to get me a throne of swords. And
I am so sorry, Tony.
Because that's all I don't have here.
You're right. You're right.
If we'll pan the camera around too, and if you've seen all the interviews and stuff, we are here in position number 1 on Radio Row.
For sure.
Is there any doubt about that, Luigi Curto?
I'm still in awe of the pageantry and the majesty that is happening around us, Tony. And by the way, I will admit this. For anybody who's ever doubted the man, this is the king of Radio Row. You've been pulled more ways than a hooker.
Or than saltwater
Seriously, man.
Except I don't charge as much. Although
no.
I got to raise my rate this week, though.
You do. You're in high demand.
Pimping ain't easy, you know.
But it was kind of cool because when I walked on, some of the other people I met at a few of the other events that we've been to that you've taken me to over the past 4 years, which has finally got me to here, they all greeted me at the front ropes and they were all like, "Oh, you rugged Jerry!" As soon as I walked in the door, it was fantastic.
It's great being here. All the local TV stations from Philly are here. All the New England people. All of my friends that I get to see in my yearly reunion show.
It's pretty cool, Tony.
At the Super Bowl on Radio Row. A lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. We started out having fun the other night, got into Minnesota. And yes, it was cold, and no Minnesota fans. And how many Minnesota people have come up to us here in the last 2 days? We were setting up here yesterday to give love to this show. And so I know there's stuff going on Twitter. Miss Robin is here, so let me give her the proper introduction. Give her a roaring round of applause. Working hard.
Thank you.
Working hard. Harder than anybody on Radio Row. I just walk around, and then Jim Rome's producer comes over and says, "Hey, can you do a hit with Romy?" And Romy and I go back, so it was over Jim Rome. I've done NBC Sports Philly. I've done CBS3.
Jim is the one that coined, that gave you the moniker, the King of Radio Row.
So Jim and I go back. We're a couple of old school radio grizzled veterans, except he looks good and I look
He looks good.
shot.
I like his hair longer.
He looks great. No, Jim looks great.
I think you were a little better. I don't want Jimmy with the long hair.
He looks great.
He's more of a crew cut guy.
He doesn't have a crew cut. He's got tight curls, man.
He should have been a crew cut guy.
The thing about the bald head, though, the dome, is that you don't age.
Yeah, I age.
A lot of people that have hair, when they start to get the receding and they start going gray, it's noticeable. But because you have looked like this forever, other
it's
than
a natural thing.
Yeah, you just,
You make me feel like a natural man, not a woman. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. A lot of great guests coming by. The people here in Minnesota are great. We saw my buddy, the great PA on the mic, Paul Allen, doing his show a little earlier. All the radio stations are there. Jim Rome's over there, and the amusement park is here. So we're in a food court in the Mall of America, the biggest mall in America. Now, King of Prussia has more actual stores, I believe, but this mall has more square footage.
That is correct.
Because it's got a full-scale amusement park right behind us in here.
Yep, it's incredible.
And the people who run this mall are terrific. They're really interactive on social media at Mall of America. The Bold North, the people of Minnesota couldn't be nicer. And I know there's these stupid things going on Twitter where Philly fans are going back and forth, and they just won't let this last week thing go away. Just let it die, all right? Let it go away. We're at the Super Bowl. I know the fans are unhappy here. I don't blame them. They were tasting this in their own building.
Right.
So try to put yourself in that situation, regardless of where you're watching from. Your team is a game away as the favorite from hosting a Super Bowl in your own stadium. You have an unbelievable storybook season with Case Keenum when you had Teddy Bridgewater and you had Sam Bradford there, and this guy comes in early in the season and carries this team. Great coaching, and they're favored. They go into Philly, and then the fans, some fans were mistreated, some fans weren't, but then the knuckleheads who give Philadelphia a bad name, who drink starting at 7 in the morning, make things bad for the entire city. So now if you go on Twitter, and there's some Philly media here at people, too, who are looking for disrespect toward Philadelphia who keep this thing alive, with all due respect. Am I right? You go on Twitter. It's like people don't let it die. The people in Philly should not be chirping anymore about how they beat Minnesota.
Right.
Because the fans didn't do anything except support the team, which is all fans can do in any city.
And just like you said, too, I mean, they have every reason in the world to be hurt, too, because, like, people say, like, oh, well, the Eagles wanted this game. We wanted this game. Just like you pointed out earlier, just imagine living here and being a Minnesota fan, being able to host the damn Super Bowl and it's taken away from you, man. You have every right.
Exactly. So the thing is, the Eagles didn't luck out and win a game.
No, they
they dominated.
They dominated.
And I think from a perspective of, did the better team win? Yeah, on that given day, the Eagles played better and Minnesota lost. But the other stuff that's going on, and it bothers me as a longtime Philly guy who grew up in the city and spent most of my life there, that I never, ever, and I've said this on every show I've been on, whether it's radio or TV, I will never condone any knucklehead in Philly who does anything stupid, because all you do is add to the continuing, that never will go away, by the way. It'll never go away. I mean, the Santa Claus thing's 50 years plus. That should go away. That's just lazy reporting.
I actually sent out a tweet not too awfully long ago with a hashtag, prove them wrong. Prove the media wrong, Philadelphia fans.
It is the worst stereotype in all stereotypes.
It is.
It really is.
And you know what? A lot of it's deserved. I'm not going to sit here and say there haven't been numbskulls.
But when you look at the overall, let's say 100, the whole pie, 100% of all the fans, 95% of them are fantastic. It's the 5% that is giving everybody
and that's
the bad
the way
name.
it is in every sport. That's the way it is in any instance of a sports team winning a championship and the fans going out and enjoying it, especially in long-suffering cities like Philly, Boston for the longest time with the Red Sox. They couldn't get off that schneid, the curse of the Bambino. Remember? And then they finally won. And guess what? As a fan and as a guy who's done this, I was happy for the Red Sox fans. I was happy for the Cub fans who hadn't seen a World Series championship in 100 years. So that's the way I look at it. I see John Clark is here, and I'm going to bring him on here today, too, because I want to find out from John Clark why he's doing what he's doing. I'm going to call him out on this show. Now, Luigi has called him out before, too.
Propagating the bad stereotypes.
And again, no, he's just doing his job, which is go around, and there was a bar, and I'll address it with him when he comes on, because I want to get him on here.
I'm going to be quiet during that segment.
Yeah, don't threaten him to play tennis or
No.
I
just want to understand, why do you got to stoke the fire of this stupidity? Because it's just I'm not even going to do it. We're here at Radio Row tonight. It's a happy day. People are checking in on Facebook. They're saying Joe Quillen said Luigi looks like he can use some shades in that sun. And our good buddy Joe Ruffino says, does thin optics make us sunglasses?
Oh,
they should.
They should.
Although we're in a sun field, it's like when you watch a football game and then the sun, because there's windows or a dome, and the light comes through and it's only on one, or a baseball stadium where there's the shadow behind home plate and the outfield is all sun.
Yeah.
Well, this is all glass ceilings here.
I forget what the company's called, but these are the same people that made the glass top at the Kalahari Resort that we went to.
Yeah, Kalahari Resort up in the Poconos. They built this, and we went through the amusement park yesterday, and tomorrow night there's going to be the media party.
And
we're going to go live on the media party. We're going to go live everywhere we go. We're going to be here every day for 2 hours from 2 to 4 Central Standard Time. That's 3 to 5 Philadelphia East Coast time, and then obviously you do the reverse work going west wherever you are in another country.
This is the first time ever at Radio Row that we can say we are right across from the Shake Shack and the Starbucks.
Yeah, and it's a great mall. I mean,
it is a
and we've only been through a quarter of it.
It's just so weird. It's so not even a quarter. I don't even think we've had
we've been through a little teeny spot of it.
But it is kind of a weird feeling to be inside the mall.
But it's great because you get to see other cities, you get to travel. And I love to travel, and this is why I do this, because I don't just like sitting in my basement drinking great Michael and David wine and talking sports.
No, I do that.
Well, I know that. We all do. But to go out and to travel and see cultures, and oh, by the way, I tweeted when we arrived, we just landed in Minnesota, and it's 16 degrees, and I had all these people, well, it's winter. But the one guy who got it said, well, we're having a heat wave, because 16 degrees is warm this time of the year. And the one thing that I don't want to hear anybody say this who's coming here from Philadelphia, it's cold. It's supposed to be cold.
But it's a dry heat, though, too.
It is a dry heat. You have to moisturize. You have to moisturize here. You can't be ashy.
And there's only dry cold.
It is dry cold. You're right. And I've only saw one individual today with shorts on. Just one.
Because when we were flying in on Saturday night, there were people from Minnesota who obviously connected in Philly. So they were coming from a warm weather vacation, and instead of getting all bundled up, they wore shorts on the plane. So when they got off at the Minneapolis airport,
They were still in
which is a
shorts.
beautiful airport, by the way.
It's
too.
very nice.
They got off at the airport, and they had shorts on. And Luigi was making fun of them. I'm saying, these people are hardcore here. They're not soft. They're wearing shorts when it's 15 degrees out. You know, we got idiots in Philadelphia who wear shorts. You get one day where it goes to 45, and people are outside with shorts and flip-flops on.
Well, no, it's because the people in that area like to celebrate wearing jorts all season long.
Well,
that's
exactly,
that's what it is. The problem is here, it's not just cold. It's bitter cold.
But it's supposed to be.
I
You go into a
understand that.
They have gift shops in this mall, the Mall of America, dedicated to selling gear that points out how cold it is. There's one place called the Bold North store.
Yeah.
And they've got mugs that say, I came to Minnesota and froze my nuts off. And there's a squirrel on it, and he's got, the nuts.
Yeah.
So they embrace the cold.
But even the elevators in here, the numbers, it says first and then -1, -2, -3. Even the numbers on the elevator are in negative temperatures.
So for all you people who think that people in Minnesota are soft,
no, they ain't
come
soft,
here
bro.
and hang out or live. In fact, we saw our buddy Jay Ziering last night.
Over at Cantina.
Who's now the general manager of the Cantina Laredo here in this beautiful mall.
Not Ian Ziering.
No, not Ian Ziering. He's doing another Sharknado movie.
Yeah.
What are they? Are they double digits yet on Sharknado?
There was a shark walking around here. I think it was the left shark, I believe, Tony.
No, there's an aquarium in this mall, and the shark was here to promote the aquarium. He doesn't talk much, which is okay, because I don't want my sharks talking.
No, ain't nobody
I want them just moving around, keep swimming, don't stop, don't talk, just do what you do.
Attack, baby.
Attack mode. But it's going to be a fun week here. Tonight's the big media night where it'll be on television. We will be there live. Both teams will show up. They'll get into their podiums. And the big story that broke this morning, because the Patriots will go on first tonight, and it'll be on NFL Network Live, and we will be there live. So they set up podiums for the main players, and it'll be in the XL Energy Center in St. Paul on the other side of this area, because we're near the airport. The Mall of America is in Bloomington, Minnesota, where Metropolitan Stadium stood right here. On these hallowed grounds is where Metropolitan Stadium was. And then all of a sudden, they built this beautiful mall. But we're going to have a lot of guests. And we have our first guest approaching right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm excited because Royal Rumble was just in Philly the other night. But the man who's here, and he's not wearing spikes, though. People are disappointed. But they're not disappointed when we told them we were going to have him on our show. And he's our first guest on Radio Row, WWE Hall of Famer, a good friend of another guy who hopefully will be here because he's a Minnesota native, too.
Mr. Ric Flair.
Mr. Ric Flair. We know him as the Animal, the Road Warrior, the Legion of Doom, the original Legion of Doom before the Flyers had the Legion of Doom line. Joe Laurinaitis, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Guys, thanks for having me on, man. It's great to be back in the my home state of Minnesota growing up. Actually, I'm a Philly guy.
Are you really?
I was born and raised in Philly, yeah. My grandmother lived down by Hunting Park, and I'm a Fly Eagles Fly guy.
It's my
I did not know that.
Huntington Park's 5 minutes from my house, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
but they call
Northeast Philly, I grew up. Northeast Philly.
You got to be an animal to live in Northeast Philly, man. Come on.
No, let me tell you something. Philly, I tell this all the time. I used to tell it to my son James growing up and my son Joe. You learn life experiences real quick in the city of brotherly love. I'll tell you.
Now, wait a
that.
minute, now, because you spent a lot of time in Minnesota. They call you Minnesota native.
Yeah, well, I went to high school and then college here, played junior college football here, and then, of course, raised my family here because it's really a nice. Minnesota's a great place, man.
Absolutely.
The Midwest to raise a family. They always had like the #1 schools in the nation. That was important to me because I told James growing up, I said, listen, man, I'm glad you're an All-American, but I want you to be an All-American in school as well, And that was an important message for me, man. Yeah, Minnesota's great, but hey, once you're born and raised in the city of brotherly love, bro, it's in your blood. You can't get it out.
So last Sunday, were you torn watching that NFC Championship game, knowing that these people here expected it? They were playing well. They were favored. They know that they're a week away from hosting a Super Bowl in their own stadium in this great city, and then to have that happen, I mean, it has to be a huge disappointment.
I think the way they got beat was easier to accept than back when they got beat by the Atlanta Falcons in the field goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember James was the Pee Wee hockey, because James also got drafted by playing hockey. I don't know if you guys do that, right? Played hockey here in Minnesota. And when you get beat on a field goal like that, I remember he was a Pee Wee, which is a 12, 13-year-old kid. He cried all the way home. He cried for 2 days because, my Minnesota Vikings lost. The people here in Minnesota, I will tell you, they bleed purple and gold. And just like the people in Philly. If you don't bleed, you bleed, green and white or green and silver, you're not bleeding, right?
Right.
And, and for me, as a fan watching it, because I love football, right? I always love football. when I'm watching a game and I see a young kid like a Malcolm Jenkins, who I watched played 4 years with James at Ohio State, and I watch Chris Long, who we first met at the ESPN Awards for College Football Awards, and then playing with the Rams, and then now he's with the Eagles, and I'm so proud of that kid. Chris is a great man. What a big heart to give your salary away for a year to a good cause.
But he did say, he said, I'm keeping the playoff checks.
He did that playoff check, bro. That
you gotta have expenses. You gotta cover expenses at least.
Bro, if they win, it keeps growing and growing and growing, right? It's a never-ending check, right? So it's great to see that, man, and it's great to see the Eagles to the big dance. That's the big thing. I'm glad they're to the dance.
Now, you keep mentioning your son James, who went to Ohio State All-American, then was drafted in the second round by the Rams, played in St. Louis, and then in L.A. at the. Actually, was he there the first year in L.A.?
No, he went to New Orleans.
He was in New
after
Orleans.
that.
No, and he finished his career there because he got injured with the Saints, but he played most of his career. And we were looking at he is the record holder for the most sacks by a linebacker in Rams history. 900 and how many sacks?
No, it's
not sacks.
Listen, what he did, Merlin Olsen had the tackle record of 900 something tackles, right? It was a 35-year-old record. James ended up with like 1,200 tackles with the Rams in a 7-year career. And Merlin also played, 14 years with the Rams. So I told James, I said, listen, man, at the end of the day, what an honor.
It's huge.
An establishment. You're the Rams' all-time tackle leader.
Exactly.
It's going to take a real feat to beat that record. So I said, you didn't make the Pro Bowl. You didn't do this and that, the Hall of Fame, whatever. Who cares? You had fun. The low percentage of people in the world that can play in the NFL. Come on, man.
1%.
1%.
And to be at a big-time program like Ohio State, be a second-round pick, and play for the Rams for 8 seasons in the NFL, and then he finally called it a career last year, right? Actually, earlier in 2017.
Yeah, I think.
And what's he doing there?
I think he was reading the writing on the wall, man. I think he loves getting into the announcer game. He went to broadcast boot camp, did real well. He had a gig all season with the Big Ten Network. And he does the NFL Network stuff sometimes, too. He does the players around table and stuff like that. So I know he's meeting with Fox this week, I think, or somebody. But he's getting to do some good things, man. And this is his niche. You guys have probably talked to him. James is really pretty decent on the mic.
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's why I'm here in town. I got my podcast, Old World Rush podcast, started up. It's on the STL Podcast Network. And James is in that kind of genre too. So now this is kind of good for he and I. To do, to be able to do some stuff like this, hopefully in the future together too, man.
I was gonna say you're gonna have that whole father-son thing on air a little bit.
Yeah, man. And listen, to me, when I was watching that game, he and I were going back and forth on the phone a little bit. I was pulling for the Eagles all the way. I know how crazy the Minnesotans get with football.
Sure.
And I wouldn't have been upset if Minnesota would have won, but. Me being a Philly kid, the Eagles.
Hey, I'm a South Philly guy. This is the third Eagles side. I was there in '81 when Ron Jaworski and Dick Vermeil and the guys at the Superdome in New Orleans, and then in Jacksonville. And the thing about this team versus those other teams, this team is an underdog. Those teams were favored. Yeah. I mean, the Donovan McNabb teams were supposed to win those championship games, so when they lost, everybody was devastated. But now I think this team is embracing this whole underdog thing, and that's why I think it's going to be a great game. I got to mention something. You and I have something in common, though. 6'10", the number 6'10". This is you know what that means, right? You bench pressed 610 pounds, right? I was on 6:10 a.m. in Philadelphia.
There you go, man.
That's where we have our
exactly
bond there.
the same thing.
We're kissing cousins.
I got up around 3:55, but that was it. That was all I ever got up, man.
So now, obviously, WWE Hall of Fame. Did you watch Royal Rumble Sunday night?
I did watch the Royal Rumble last night, man. I tell you, to be honest with you, the women stole the show.
Yeah.
The Women's Royal Rumble was fantastic.
Yeah, because Ronda Rousey came out, and she's now going to be
man.
wrestling.
Ronda Rousey is
I call her Rousey all the time.
Exclusively now with the WWE?
Well, but that's Philly, though. Rousey is Philly.
Yeah.
Just
it's like water.
Use guys.
Use guys.
Come on.
Do you say water or water?
Water.
Yeah,
it's always
just
water.
check.
Water. Yeah, my wife yells at me all the time. Will you please speak English? Quit speaking Philly, would you?
The worst one for me is crayon. People there pronounce it crown.
No, they don't.
Yes,
How do you say crayon?
It's all crayon. It's always crayon.
It's always crayon.
You said crown just the other day.
Because I had to have a bottle of Crown in me. That's why.
but be a Philly guy and come to Minnesota when everything's no, you betcha.
Right.
Everything's with a no.
Don't you know?
But it's great.
Know. Exactly. Perfect. Don't you know? And I had to get used to that. So, imagine coming here going to school. People try to, but it really slowed my speech down a lot because I got rid of my my Philly deep hard drive,
Of course,
and got into a little bit of Minnesota draw, so I kind of evened out over the years.
Now I have a question for you because I mean your character, like it's full of anger and fear-inducing, which being a native Philadelphian probably helped you get in touch with that.
Oh yeah.
Because I found out when I first started hanging out Tony a lot that I was like, why is he always angry? And then I found out when I went to Philly, he's not always angry. That's just the way he talks.
That's Philly.
We're just pumping gas.
Thank you. Tell that to my wife, please. No, why are you yelling at me? I said, I'm not yelling. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, and then, like, I'm seriously, like, to this day, I'm like,
it's
you
inbred.
You don't have to talk like that. You can just say, but it's just, it's
told
the
her,
way.
Hold on a second. If somebody steals my money, I'll show you angry.
Right.
I said, I'm not
speech
ticked
pattern.
off yet. Yeah.
But I believe that is actually one of the reasons why Philadelphia fans, the Eagles fans, and all the other fans have gotten such a bad rap. They aren't always angry. They just come across that way.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm firm believer. You're a product of your environment.
Yep.
And the Philly fans are a product of the inner city and a product of Philadelphia. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It means that's just the way it is. And Minnesotans are a whole different product.
Very polite.
We're here. You move into the neighborhood. Someone bakes you a nice pie.
Right.
Or no, seriously, they'll bring you a loaf of banana bread or something, right? And they bring it to you. In Philly, they don't bake you nothing. Right. They'll say, you owe me something. Give me you moved in. Where's my pie?
Yeah. You're in my neighborhood now. What are you bringing
Where's
me?
my bagel? Give me my bagel with cream cheese.
And
right?
Philly, you're mistaken. It's my paper. They just put it on your step.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
We're talking with Joe Laurinaitis. Now people call you Animal or Joe. I mean, what's the?
You know, I get both, and now I'm more proud to say that hey, you're James's dad. You know,
okay.
That to me is the biggest compliment, man. Because and James gives me a little credit now and then on time to time. Hey, my dad coached me all through because I did. I coached him all through grade school until he got into high school. And, it's funny. I tell people say, God, how did he get so good at like reading offenses and stuff like that? I said, man, when James was a kid, for some reason, he just took to me. Because I used to evaluate the film for the high school and the college when James was young.
Wow.
And he would watch. He goes, what are you looking for, Dad? And I would try to tell him the tendencies, because every team's got a tendency or which way they want to go, and the favoritism in their side of the ball, whether it's either go on the right or the left side, right? And, strong side, and whether to look for trips or quads or whatever you're talking about in football language. And he would go, and he'd get it. And he just fell in love with it, and he caught on to it real quick. And to me, we had that special bond all the way through, because I got to experience that with James and coach James in that facet. And that and the fact that he's a good young man now. He's got 2 daughters. He's got a great wife, Shelly. And to see him mature and grow like that, and now he's with your guys' business, and now he's getting into doing TV with the Big Ten Network and the NFL Network and stuff. It's great to see him get into that genre and achieve his dreams in life, man.
Now let me pump the podcast again. It's at What a Rush Pod,
yep.
And at RW Animal. Follow you on Twitter. Follow both pods.
Yep.
And so you talk everything, because we talk everything. This is sports, but we talk everything, man. Wrestling, we talk everything.
Of course, you guys, you're mainly football, but you talk like we talk wrestling, but it's like we don't care whatever topic you want to talk about. You can even bring Donald Trump into the story, and I'll say, yeah, fellow Hall of Famer. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame with me. Donald Trump is, right? Whether you like the president or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's kind of an everything show, and it's great. We talk about old stories. We go over pay-per-views. We'll go over some of my old matches. I mean, because Hawk and I have done some crazy things in this business.
The late great Hawk, who we lost.
And everyone here on social media checking in, they're all saying what a rush.
Besides being a member of the Concussion Hall of Fame, which I am.
Nobody remembers that anyway.
No, because I suffer from that concussion stuff. I mean, I've been hitting heads, in our business. We were laughing about it earlier. I did a podcast with Smash of Demolition.
I remember.
And if you don't get hit in the head with a chair and bend it over your head and make that chair the shape of a letter V, you weren't getting hit hard enough.
Oh, God.
And and now over years, we're all experiencing that later on in life.
Now, what side effects do you have now? What are you noticing?
I have forgetfulness. I cannot remember half the pay-per-views I did unless I see them on TV and I watch them. And I've been, from day one for 22 years with Hawk, I wrestled in main events every night.
Wow.
I was just going to say, he's been in some of the biggest matches and some of the biggest,
Yeah.
We're talking about some SummerSlams and WrestleManias and some of the biggest stages possible. To be able to not to remember that's amazing.
Now, have you done any kind of special therapy or anything like that? Because a really great friend of ours is Bill Romanowski, who obviously is also part of that concussion club. And
he's doing hyperbaric chambers, which is popular.
Really?
The oxygen tent things.
Well,
and has had great success. Like, he was losing his speech, and he's
and
now
he's
regained a lot of it.
broadcasting in the Bay Area,
it's kind
California.
Kind of a funny story. My wife was getting irritated with me because I was out of the blue. I started snoring at night. Never snored, right? And then I went and did the sleep test, and then I didn't breathe one time for 49 times in an hour.
What?
Oh, my God.
Stop
That's
breathing.
major sleep apnea,
Not long, but I went and got my test. She said, "You are horrible," and I'm surprised you haven't been gone by now.
Yeah.
And so, but I had gotten my CPAP machine, and it pretty much, bam, it got me back into the rhythm now that they said you can retrain because my brain was not, I forgot because of all the concussions, it's not sending the signal to my lungs to breathe and my heart to pump.
That is frightening.
Which is scary, right? So,
yeah.
But the machine has worked, and I've been on it for a year now, and I'm totally cured of it. But now I can sleep, and if I don't have my machine with me, I'm cool. But yeah, man, the concussions is bad, man.
Well,
it's
if
like
you see Bill Romanowski wandering around, which I'm sure you will, you should ask him about it because he's had amazing success.
Romo's a great guy, too.
Check it out, man.
Before I started doing this, I was in respiratory, so I'm well aware of sleep apnea and CPAPs and BiPAP machines and all these things like that, and it does work wonders once you finally get into it and start letting it, benefit you the way it's supposed to.
It's amazing what oxygen deprivation can do to a human body.
But they say your brain's a powerful muscle, an organ, right? You can retrain it to send that signal again.
It's through a different pathway.
Fire up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They say the human brain has not even really totally been explored yet.
Exactly.
But man, it's great, man. It's great being on your show, man. This is great.
It's an honor to have you.
We got a lot of feedback coming here. So Jacob Vernell on Facebook says he's a Philly resident. He loved watching you in the AWA Civic Center.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, man.
That's a throwback.
I mean, I go
right
back to Bruno Sammartino days, and George the Animal Steel, who we just lost to, my favorite of all time, because you never really bit and ripped the turnbuckles off them.
No,
that was his.
I'm not that guy. I would rip the bodies apart, not the turnbuckles. No, but hey, I remember as a kid in Philly, right? I mean, I wasn't a big wrestling fan. But Bruno Sammartino, if you didn't know him living in Philadelphia, you were freaking comatose.
I used to go to all the TV tapings at Channel 48. Remember Channel 48 would do TV tapings, and then they would show them again live. But I would go there, and Bruno would be there. I mean, all the legends.
You showed me where that location was.
You guys will laugh at this. I don't know what channel on. You may remember this. I was on Bozo the Clown when I was a kid.
I was on Bozo.
Yeah, me too.
I was on Bozo.
I was Bozo.
Participant on Bozo the Clown.
You are Bozo.
They introduced me to Bozo. You know what I did? I went and ran behind the curtain.
Really?
When I was like a 6 or 7 year old.
Do you remember Chief Halftown growing up in Sally
Star?
Yeah,
yeah,
I wanted that.
Captain Kangaroo.
Absolutely.
I wanted that Nintendo more than anyone. I was 3 for 5. I was basically like a Sixer shooting guard on any night. I was so mad.
Captain Kangaroo, man. I try to, man. Some of those shows bring back such great memories.
All right, I got to ask you a question because we were talking yesterday when I saw you walking by. How often do you wear the spikes now? Do you go out? Do you do any like revivals? When you do like autograph sessions and stuff, do people say put the spikes and the face paint on?
They don't ask that to me, but I do that anyway because that's the way they know me as Animal, right? And I bring my spike shoulder pads. I have the ones that say Chicago on them, and then I have the other ones that are the gold ones I wore at SummerSlam '92 and Wembley Stadium in London, England, which was like 90,000 people, which was crazy. So loud you couldn't even hear the Harleys going down to the ring, man.
It was
loud, nuts.
It was
man.
awesome.
You
hear the music start up, right? You hear the water rush, and then you hear the Harleys fire up, and it just come around the side and come straight down to the ring. It was badass.
Great entertainment, man. That's why wrestling is huge. And Vince McMahon has been able to get great talent to just keep this thing going, man. It was a lull. You remember then Hulk Hogan came on the scene and then re-injected the energy into it because when Bob Backlund was the champion, he was just a really good wrestler and a plain guy, and so he didn't have the energy.
It was all about the
Hulk,
personalities,
the Manias, and all the other great entertainers.
Hulk Hogan is singularly responsible for taking it to new levels.
Yes,
new levels.
The Michael Jordan. Would you call him the Michael Jordan of wrestling?
Exactly, man. That's why people compare us and they call us the Hulk Hogan of tag teams.
Yeah,
and that's a compliment to me, man, to be compared to Hulkster, who was like, we talked about this earlier today on the podcast too. You compare. It's almost like an icon. You know what I mean? You have Bruno, who's an icon. Andre's an icon. And then Hulk Hogan, and then the Road Warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a part of that icon fraternity, which is totally humbling.
You're in the Hall of Fame.
Because
Hall of Famer.
you're going, how do I get that? How did I get that? I grew up as an inner city kid living underneath train
Right.
tracks in Philadelphia, and I'm in a Hall of Fame.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of crazy, man. It's a very humbling experience, and it's good.
And it's amazing too, because when you think about like the like he said about the icon part of it, you have like, you know, you have certain guys and you have guys that are above it. And it's the same thing with like, you know, with the Road Warriors here with Hawk and Animal. You know, you had the tag teams that come out and there's just, you know, they had the leotards on, they had the tights on, whatever. But these guys, you come out, the face paint.
Oh yeah.
The war
Mohawks.
cries, the mohawks, all the color.
I can't do the mohawk. I'm gonna have to buy a fake mohawk now.
No, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, you know, when you talk about the Road Warriors, they were the upper echelon. They were
Absolutely.
the next step above, man. And
No
you
doubt
guys,
about it.
You guys set a lot of trends, man. Seriously, you guys opened a lot of doors for a lot of people.
You know, at the end of the day, man, humility plays a big part in a lot of this stuff because you're only as good as the guy you're in the ring with.
Correct. Yep.
And I told that to James. It's kind of funny, right? Here's a kid that was a first-team All-American 3 years in a row, you know, Butkus Award, Nagurski Award winner, all the whole shebang. And then I cried when he graduated cum laude.
Yeah, that's what you do.
When he got
in
his
there.
diploma, man, I said, this makes me just as proud of you as you getting All-American. This is an All-American Award of Education for me.
And it's amazing, too, as a testament to you as a father, because with your schedule as a WWE wrestler and having to go around the country and do all these things, constantly moving, for you to be able to spend time and teach your son, you know, game tape and all this stuff and be able to coach him at home, that's a lot, man.
Bro, I tell you what, I drove myself ragged, if you guys can imagine, right? We figured out today, I wrestled probably over 6,000 matches.
Wow.
Okay?
That's amazing.
And I always made a deal with the promoters. Like when I worked for Vince McMahon, I said, listen, I will work for you and Jim Crockett Promotions, the NWA. I said, I'll work for you. I need to go home on Wednesday, Thursday to coach, and Saturday mornings for the game. I will make your show back that night, Saturday night, but I need to go home to coach.
That's
and
dedication,
I did that.
man.
James, now that he's got a little bit of taste of what I did flying around, doing all these interviews and TV shows and everything, he goes, how did you do it? I said, bro, I think I was probably half asleep, half the things I did. I said, but again, you know, people would ask me all the time, why are you angry? I said, I'm not angry. I grew up in Philadelphia, you know.
Well, it's an honor to have you on
We're
the
just
show.
talking.
man.
We're just talking.
Just talking, man.
Now, you know, is Rick coming to Minnesota this week, Ric Flair?
You know, I don't know if he is, man. Rick just got over a real scary health scare,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
And he's out of hospital. I saw him on the Rumble last night. He looked great, which is good to see the color back in his skin and everything else, man. So I'm happy Rick's good.
Because you're on the 30 for 30 with him, and you guys are tight. I mean,
Yeah, man, I mean, listen, when we used to go to Japan, and Rick's ex-wife
Did a lot over there.
ex-wife's from here in Minnesota, and David Flair, who wrestled, his son David, and Megan, his daughter, lived here. So he would buy stuff over in Tokyo, give it to me, as if my bags weren't heavy enough the way it is. I had to carry Flair's kid's stuff back to his ex-wife's house and build a erector set for the kid for Christmas. I said, Rick, I got my own family on Christmas Day. I'm building your kid's stuff.
Ric Flair's been ruining careers forever. I mean, I got fired for meeting Ric Flair 20 years ago. I'm not kidding. I waited in line to
he
meet him.
has
I
a
got
Ric
fired.
Flair robe. He's got the red robe that he brought here,
Is that
hoping
right?
to meet him. And well, he met him before, but hoping that he'll sign it for him.
Yeah.
You have a full Ric Flair robe? Do you have one?
That's not covered in blood. Oh,
Good
what a rush.
answer. Good answer.
Well, it's an honor to meet you,
That's
Joe.
awesome.
It really is, man.
Guys,
Thank you
thanks
so
having
much
me
for
on,
coming on, man. We
Hey,
appreciate
fly
it.
Eagles fly, right?
Exactly.
right,
There
brother.
he is, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a roaring round of applause.
Absolutely.
Let's get these people out here. Give this man the animal. WWE Hall of Famer, Joe Laurinaitis. Great
Right on,
job,
man.
Joe. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you, man.
So how awesome is he?
Amazing. Are you kidding me? I watched this kid when
I want to get
when I was
into
a
the
little
ring now.
kid,
I want to
man.
go out and I want to like suplex somebody right now.
When have we been out of the ring, Tony? We've been in the ring for our entire lives, brother. This is nuts. I can't believe this, man. I can't. Joe, absolutely. I can't believe this, man. I just shook hands with the animal. This is crazy.
You know what we're going to do after the show? Since we're in the Mall of America,
What are we going to do?
I'm going to go and buy a folding table. In fact, I may take one of these
You know what
Radio
I'm
Row
gonna do?
folding
I'm going to
tables.
smash you from the top of the Fox Sports Radio setup over there. I'm going swanton bomb off the top.
I
for you,
think we
Tony.
are. We will be wrestling this weekend.
Yes,
here.
we will, Tony.
We
will
may
throw
have to
down.
have an undercard match, and then we'll have Joe come in and referee, and then he'll hand me the foreign object, and I'll pull it out of my trunks,
Right.
and then I'll come over and hit you, and then you'll act like I just hit you with a nuclear bomb, and then you'll go down.
Are you going to do that?
And then you're going to get a razor blade and cut yourself just right here where it bleeds a lot, but it doesn't really make a deep
Yes,
cut.
I know.
And then have the blood running down your face.
Now, are you going to go brass knuckles, or are you going to do?
No, I'm going bare hand. I'm not
Bare
brass
hand?
knuckle. I'll have a foreign object though.
Go big boss man with the nightstick.
Absolutely. Got all the moves.
I can't believe he was just. That's awesome, man.
Robin, your thoughts?
I love it. What a great dad. I mean,
that's the thing that
when
the
he's
wrestling
talking-
stuff and having a career, which all of us have or hope to have. Not just that he was a great wrestler and a Hall of Famer, the dedication to his kids and his family is what makes. And you can see how happy and impressed he is to have kids that grew up and became successful while his dad was out there working his butt off all over the world trying to make a living.
When we were sitting here, we were just talking. Now, I know the interview went a little bit longer probably than we wanted to, but I had
No,
to
we
men-
didn't.
I had
We
to-
have, this isn't a radio station where we have to take a break every 5
What I'm saying
minutes.
is, though, is I had to mention the fact, like, he's sitting here talking and telling me this, and I'm going, how did you do all that with this WWE schedule we have? That's why I had to bring this up and ask him.
No, it was a great question.
You know, and this is coming from a guy who'll never. I'll never be a father. Not because I can't. I might even have a few kids I don't even know about right now. But I'll never be a father because I'm getting to the age where anyone willing to lay down with me is probably going to be too long in the tooth for that. You know what I'm saying?
Luigi, it's not like a female. You can be a dad at 90.
I might be a dad now, for all I know. I have no idea.
Well, if your kids show up, tell them to get the hell away
The
from
early
me.
2000s are all a blur. They're all a blur, bro.
So there. And guess who's going to come by now?
Well, who's coming on now?
A man.
A
man about town.
A man about town is right.
A man who's not out there trying to stir the pot and keep the Minnesota fans angry at the Philadelphia fans.
He is the spoon.
Unlike
Tony.
John Clark, I got to see him. Did he leave? Because I gotta talk to John Clark.
He's over there discussing cheesesteaks joints with somebody. I'm pretty sure.
Is John Clark here? Or did
He's
he leave?
over there somewhere.
No, he was
Mark?
over here and he went out.
Right there, Mark.
He was interviewing Ross Tucker. But I want to talk to my man, Farzy. Mark Farzetta.
What's up, brother?
From the 700 level show.
Thank you,
the
sir.
WIP morning show.
Oh, man.
He's not going to Wing Bowl. He's going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, I'm going to Wing Bowl.
Oh, you are?
And we didn't talk about this when I saw you yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the wrong one. I'm sorry.
I love that sound. It doesn't matter. You can apply that anywhere in life, and that is just a
I've been
phenomenal
using it for decades
sound.
now.
It's phenomenal. But no, so I'm here with NBC Sports Philadelphia till tomorrow morning. Then I have to fly back to Philly for my Wing Bowl responsibilities. Then I come back late Friday night for my Sunday Night Football responsibilities, working on the broadcast.
So you're
crew.
coming back to Minnesota?
You know what? Minnesota's so nice. You got to come back twice.
No, I didn't realize you were doing it.
Yeah, man.
Because there's not that many flights from Philly to Minneapolis.
No. Well, it's amazing when the Eagles make the Super Bowl. They'll create
they
some
add
flights.
a couple more.
No, I know that, but I'm saying the back and forth because not many people are
Right.
flying this. For example, our flight was on a Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and we booked it in October.
Wow.
And got here because we know we always come in on Saturday so we can set up on Sunday and get ready to go on Monday.
Sure.
But and I know a lot of people from Philly. Like I was talking to the guys. We were talking to Derek Gunn and a bunch of the guys from Comcast. Well, I can still call it Comcast Sports.
Sure.
NBC Sports Philly.
Thank you.
And they drove.
Yeah.
Derek Gunn drove here from Philly.
That's crazy.
They drove with Aaron Talasnik, who's the producer of the 700 level show. They wanted him to be in the van with Barrett Brooks and Derek Gunn to just
Isn't
kind
it
of.
like 18 hours?
But they
something
stopped
like
in
that.
Chicago, though.
They stopped in Chicago. They did
Spent the night.
They did a 2-day thing and went the whole way. But Aaron, from what I understand, because I mean, you know how it is. If somebody's driving somewhere and everybody else is flying, it's like, oh, hey, would you mind just taking this so I don't have to check it?
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron was cooped up like like in the fetal position in the backyard next to like a stack of cameras.
Sort of like me.
Probably like
like
Luigi
sort of like
was.
me.
Loaded all
Okay.
of our equipment, 6 suitcases, and a big equipment box in a
sh-
rental car.
In a Chevy Malibu. We
yeah,
made
oh
it.
yeah.
Let me tell you,
And
the
had-
Chevy Malibu are way bigger than you think.
Here's the best part, Mark. We
Yeah.
all had leg room and
Get
enough
out of
space.
here.
The way we
I'm
packed
not
this,
kidding,
I
telling
don't
you, man.
believe it.
I'm
I don't
telling
believe
you.
it.
Seriously,
I need,
it was
I need
amazing.
documentation.
Yeah,
I
we
need
took
photos.
pictures.
I
Follow
have
us back to the
video.
airport. I'll show you on the way home. Trust me.
I don't know how we did it. We
and
thought we were going to
photographs.
have to get like another SUV. And I said, no. And we went out there in the cold, and we loaded that car up to the gills, and we got it all back to our Airbnb, and then we got this equipment here yesterday. So that shows you veteran Super Bowl Radio Row action. You know?
Absolutely. The experience really pays off right there.
Well, you can say, look at Radio Row. I don't want people to think that I'm BSing or touting my own horn. You see all these radio stations. What do you notice about this particular program right here?
I noticed that this program setup is by far the best setup out of anybody
well,
around
not just
me
the
right
best.
now.
I mean, that goes with that. So I'm talking about the other parts of it.
The
What's
backdrop, Miss Robin, is lovely as ever. You're here, which is
but
nice.
look at our space.
It's the biggest space.
My space, which you're
And-
still on, by the way. What's your MySpace account? Do you still have one?
I never did MySpace.
I think
never
Luigi's
on it.
still active on MySpace.
No, I tried to log in. I couldn't get in now.
But we have, because of my 29 years here, the NFL always gives me
Right.
the biggest space.
And as far as I know, Roger Goodell calls you Mr. Bruno.
Yes, he does.
That's right.
Yes, he does.
You know it.
And I call him Raj.
He's the only one who doesn't bro hug. He actually shakes the man's hand. It's
Exactly.
incredible.
Yes, he shakes my hand and gives me a bro hug. Yeah, he should.
See that?
Now, when you walked into this beautiful mall and you see the big banner, it hits you in the face, and then you realize it. There's Nick Foles and there's Tom Brady on the big banner right in the Mall of America.
This is just how we drew it up in 2013.
I said that when we came in. I said one of these two things is not alike.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What is going on?
These don't go together.
No.
It does smack you right in the face as soon as you walk in the building, and it is. They did a great job. I will say they did a great job. When you have far more experience than I do with this, Tony, but as far as the setup here, I think Minnesota, the city, Minneapolis, has done a really good job.
Absolutely,
so far with
because
everything.
remember, this Radio Row is more condensed because, like, CBS Sports is up there in their own booth, and all through this mall, in every area where there's space, there's things like Sirius XM is down in its own big area.
Yep.
But like last year in Houston, we had a gigantic conference room, so everything that you see here in all these other sets, and Sirius and CBS and iTunes and all these other shows, they were all in one gigantic big conference room. So they've mixed it up here. They got the Radio Row Corral, and then they've got different in between. When you walk in any mall, like King of Prussia back in Philly, you have the little areas between the stores.
Yeah.
That's where they stick a broadcast location.
I like corral. That's a good word for radio personalities.
Yes.
Like,
It is
all
a
right, we'll
corral.
just corral them and throw them in the
we just
pen.
had the
Herd
animal
'em all
on,
in.
so you had the animals in the corral.
Good God, this chair is thanking me right now for not being, what is he, 6'4", about 400 pounds? That guy is ginormous.
No, he's not 400.
No.
Nah, he's more like
raw muscle.
It's like
He's no, I mean, I would say he's like 250.
yeah, he's like 6'2", 250.
250?
I heard he's 269 pounds, just like Donald Trump, I heard.
His hand is
They
very
weigh the
dense. He
same.
had a heavy hand.
Maybe I talked to that doctor, and that's why I think he's that big.
So now, are you doing what John Clark's doing, is going around and trying to find Minnesota fans who are still dissing Eagle fans and then putting it on Twitter? It keeps the war going between these two fan bases.
If I stumble across it, then it's welcomed. I don't go looking for it. We're kind of looking at some other things across the city. I took a nice tour of their skyways, which are phenomenal.
I'm looking forward to that. We haven't done that yet.
Did you do the zip line across the Mississippi River yet?
I'm supposed to do that tomorrow morning.
I want to do that.
Yeah, we do too. I have an email that
Have
I
you
haven't
been in the
able to respond
amusement
to.
park?
I did the roller coaster this morning.
Not the one that spins around, right?
No, not that one. Not the Ninja Turtle one.
Yeah,
I did
that
the
one's awesome.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Give him one of those.
That's
Give him one of those, man. They got some extreme ones in there.
That is extreme for some of us, Tony. All right.
No, I'm a sucker for roller coasters.
I love roller coasters. Me too.
Me
roller
too.
coasters.
Except there's one that not only does it go up and do inversions, it then spins around during the whole ride. The actual car
really?
is...
Yes.
No, we haven't done that yet.
See, now I can do everything except for the spinny things. Like the spinny, all of a sudden now I can't do them anymore. But the higher, the better, the faster.
Yeah.
Upside
I'm
down,
extreme. I'm
inside
an
out.
extreme
Yeah,
guy.
all
You
those.
You can catch
I'm
me in
cool,
the Dora Explorer bumper cars. That's what you'll do.
Dora Explorer's
Find
down
me,
there.
all right?
They are some tiny little things. I did see those, but I thought I had an extra half hour before I got on the roller coaster, so I sat down, had a nice chorizo breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
Right, a little chorizo,
Oops.
cheese, egg, and literally as I'm taking my first bite, where you at? I get that text.
Yeah.
And oh great. So on the way down,
So you know
I
somebody
ate
from
it.
Philly if they're saying where you at.
Where you at? Yeah,
You
exactly.
never end a sentence. You never end a sentence with a
We actually had
preposition.
Mark. We had audio from Mark earlier with that.
We have tape?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Or then the other girl came by looking for Farsi too earlier.
Lick my asshole. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Can't the man
Remember
finish
her?
the
I'm
breakfast
not at
sandwich?
home. Oh, how can I forget her?
Can't the
Is
man
she
finish-
still here? Is she doing Radio Row?
She's
making
doing
the
Wing
tour?
Bowl, actually. She's
Is she doing Wing Bowl?
we knew that was
Wing Bowl,
happening.
yeah.
We all knew
You
that
knew
was
I'm
that.
shocked.
She was like, that's a little below me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, no.
Right.
We'll
Now,
see
this
what
is
happens. But no, I did stumble across one very bitter Vikings fan. Again, I wasn't looking for it, but the man literally was wearing a T-shirt that says, I'm a Patriots fan. Or I said, I'm a Vikings fan who's going for the Pats. And that's what his shirt said. And I was like, what? And I asked him, and I interviewed him. I got it on tape and the whole thing. And he said that he was so put off by how his friends were treated in Philadelphia last weekend, or 2 weekends ago now, that he is going to be pulling for the Pats and hoping they kick the crap out of the Eagles.
That's sad.
It is sad. And I was like, do you need a hug? Are you
Yeah.
okay?
But you know what? Again, I can understand because they're being fed that everybody in Philadelphia is an animal, and every
Yeah.
fan at the game was out of control, and everybody was beaten senseless. And,
Yeah.
and
I even
again,
had somebody try to tell me that somebody was raped. I'm like, no, that is not true.
It was
Like-
consensual. I
Yeah,
promise.
no, yeah,
God,
okay,
I
thank you.
promise. I promise.
I
Tony.
mean, the rumors that start.
And it's a
Yeah.
shame because the people see. I've been saying this all week to the folks here since I've been here. If they had not won that unbelievable finish against the Saints with the touchdown
Sure,
pass,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
home run hitter to
Diggs,
Stephon
yeah.
Diggs. Yeah.
and the Saints had won that game, and then the Saints came to Philadelphia and had lost that game to the Eagles, and they would be coming here beating the Saints with the week in between, I don't think these fans would be as angry at Philadelphia.
Oh, no.
Because they would have said, hey, you know what? We didn't win the game.
Yeah.
And they would. Now a lot of people don't even want to embrace the Super Bowl in this town because of what happened.
No, although I do appreciate the one Boston market out here that covered up Boston and put Philly.
Oh, did they?
Because
really?
they hated the Patriots
Nice.
that much. And I'm like, you know what? All right, cool.
That's cool.
We're bros now. We're totally bros
Yeah, and
now.
again, if you don't have to root for the Eagles if you don't want to, but it's a weird dynamic because I've been to 29s. I've never seen a dynamic where both teams are equally hated.
You ever seen a shirt like that?
Because the Eagles aren't really. I didn't see the shirt.
You
Oh,
got
a Hawaiian shirt?
It's freaking
What's wrong with a Hawaiian? It's Hawaiian
It's
shirt
9
Tuesday, isn't it?
degrees.
Monday.
We do have to point this out about Radio Row. We have a sunroof, basically.
Yes.
So you go from periods of just being in complete darkness to blinding lights.
Yeah, when we started the show, the sun was right above us through the glass up there.
I was doing my pre-show setup. I'm like, I can't see my screen. I can't see anything.
I felt like a hitter at home plate who could not see the pitch coming out of the
I
pitcher's
felt like
hand.
Macaulay Culkin and My Girl just searching around for things. She's like, I can't see anything.
I never
Bees
saw that
coming.
movie.
You never saw My Girl?
Nah.
What's the matter with you?
Un-American.
It's a chick flick. I don't watch
it's not-
chick
it's
flicks.
It's not a chick.
Chick
It's
flick?
a kid flick, is what it is.
I was too old for that.
It's a
then.
beautiful story.
Yeah,
Tony.
don't worry. Everyone dies in the
Sure
end.
it
Yeah,
is.
we all die.
Is it on Hallmark Channel?
No, no, it's not on
It
Hallmark.
seems like a movie that would be, though. Now that you mention it, I don't think it is. But
Now
it
when I
definitely has that,
think of Macaulay Culkin, I can't think of the kid in Home Alone now I see him as like some grungy,
I know.
washed out
Kinda
adult.
creepy.
It's
yeah.
sad. It's
Mila
really
Kunis
sad.
is ex.
Mila Kunis, yes.
Are you
they were
serious?
together for a long. The story goes, and I don't know if it's true. Not that I'm a Hollywood insider, but apparently they dated for a very long time, and then no lie, Mila Kunis had some eye thing, and she got it corrected, and then broke up with Macaulay Culkin like the next week.
No way.
Did Tawana tell you that?
She was
Tawana had
finally able
nothing
to
to do with
see,
it.
and then she was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
God,
good Lord, what is that?
was
No,
that what I've been
Now,
dating?"
he's not
After-
cute anymore.
After eye corrective surgery, I'm out.
Yeah, that's
it.
That's why they need thin optics in all of
Yes.
Hollywood.
Those,
Thin
look
optic
at those. I
glasses.
can barely see those. Those are that good.
No, you know what these are? Robin got me these a couple
Do you need
years ago.
reading
They're our
glasses?
sponsor.
No.
You're not. You will.
I will eventually.
No, you know, a lot of people.
Thank you.
Now, I can see fine without glasses, but when I get in a restaurant,
Right.
you're looking at the menu, it's
Yeah,
dark, or you
right.
got the check and you can't see. Robin saw these online a couple years ago, bought them for me, and I started wearing them. And then the company that makes these out in San Francisco, we tweeted about them, and they were fans of mine from the Bay Area because I was
Okay.
on out there
Yeah.
forever. And so they said, oh, we love this stuff. And then we became friends, and now they're sponsoring us here.
You look like a badass Ben Franklin.
That's
Yes.
what I am.
Right.
and
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
how old are you?
I am 35.
You have 5 more years.
5 more.
5
then
more
all of a
years,
sudden,
and
you won't be able to
I'm
see anything
telling you,
close
it's gonna
up.
happen.
My-
40, boom.
Older than Mark.
My father got glasses when he was 55. That's when he first got glasses.
He was
Before
in
that,
denial for
20/20
15 years.
No, 20/20 vision, had the test, was religious about doing it, all
Oh,
that
me
whole thing.
too.
And then just, boom, needed glasses like you wouldn't believe.
Well,
You know what?
You got to take some home for him.
but he
here's-
also has a full head of hair.
I'm convinced, though, that the reason why because I was the same thing. I actually had better than 20/20 vision. I have had eagle eyes, and distance is still fine. It's just the reading thing
Did you
now.
say eagle eyes, Robin?
Yes.
Do you have
And-
hungry eyes still?
and-
Not eagle-eyed cherry, of course.
I,
who I
um,
believe is performing tonight here in the mall near Dora the Explorer.
No,
I'm
you know,
absolutely convinced
course, they
that
will be.
all my computer use has made my eyes go bad faster.
So they even have
Oh,
Thin
okay.
Optics. Go to their
Okay.
website, thinoptics.com,
All right.
and then they even have a keychain where
Look
you
at
pop
that.
these things out.
That's
so
amazing.
If you don't want to put it on your phone, but they have all different motifs, anything you can think of.
Very cool.
Countries, military.
All right.
It's an amazing, amazing
Your
product.
favorite sports team, like the Eagles, possibly, if you
The
like.
greatest invention since Nick Foles. I'm telling you right now. In Philadelphia, Nick Foles, Thin Optics.
Well, the conversations in Philadelphia when Carson Wentz went down, there was a progression. I was doing some interviews, and it was like that Monday, eulogy.
Yep.
We're all
Yep.
going to die.
Yep.
Tuesday, it was like, hey, Nick Foles had that one really good year, and I was like, I don't want to
No.
hear about it.
No,
And
he
then
stinks.
Wednesday, oh no, but then he was a good year. It was a good year. Then Thursday, it's like, Nick Foles is pretty good. Friday, Nick Foles, he can still do it. And then he throws 4 touchdown passes against the Giants, and everyone's like, yep, back on the Nick bus.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're hearing people
Listen,
say,
that's what fans do.
that
That's
you're
what
hearing
fans do.
people say, maybe Carson Wentz, they don't start him next year.
Yeah,
It's
now
like,
we're
oh,
not. Now
come
we're not.
on.
And,
Right.
and Nick pulls this off. You will hear that start. Well, not Monday because everybody will be going crazy. But by Tuesday, it's already going on here with the national
If
media.
Nick pulls this off, I'm trading Carson Wentz for Le'Veon Bell tomorrow.
So now here's the thing.
Tomorrow.
You know how they
No,
erect a
I'm
statue for everybody in Philadelphia? I mean, we're like it's the city of statues and murals.
Yeah.
people were asking, will they erect a statue?
I'll start commissioning the work immediately.
I think because technically Carson Wentz really did get us to the point, or get the Eagles to the point, and then he just finished the job.
It's closer.
So they should have a statue together, like arm in arm.
Well, I'll tell you
Don't
what.
you think
If
that
Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl, there won't be a problem erecting anything in the city of Philadelphia.
Well,
Seriously,
right.
everything will be erect. Everything will be erect.
Give yourself a rib shot because I don't have it in here.
Stand at attention.
Now you going to the media night?
I am going to the media night.
Parties tomorrow night.
Media party. I will not be at the media
That's
party.
inside the amusement park, so we're going to get to go on all rides.
all the roller coasters.
They have a Soaring Over America thing like they do at Disney.
Badass,
I heard they have free booze.
There will be free
there
booze.
will be free booze.
How the hell do I miss that
If there's
party?
freeloader media, there will be freeloader
And
booze.
I believe that one of the caterers is going to be Buffalo Wild Wings, which is exciting.
All right.
I think we have a few of the Patriots walking through the.
And you see who's walking in right now.
Limping.
Mike Quick
He's
is in.
limping
Mike
in.
Quick.
Yeah.
We got tequila for you, Mike.
But we have no
We
Hearst
got
potato
tequila.
chips. There's no Hearst potato chips.
Do you have any Hearst potato chips? You bring us some chips, man?
Oh,
come on, Mike.
He's playing hurt. He's playing hurt.
He's playing hurt.
Yeah, must
Mike Quick is a wave to the folks out there, Mike. Live on Facebook
radio.
all over the world. No, we're on
we
Facebook
do.
Live.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
What does it say right here on the banner?
It says I'm a big fat idiot. That's what it
says
I'm sorry.
hashtag
must watch radio. Brilliant.
Yes, and we are on Facebook Live, Periscope Live,
Okay.
YouTube Live, and Twitch for
And
all
Twitch,
the
and we will
fanboys.
also be on Pornhub and RedTube later on in the week.
I'm working on answer too, but it's people there. It's tough to get to.
So I don't know. I mean, are you familiar with Twitch?
I'm not familiar with Twitch.
So
but
Twitch-
I
He has
want
a
to
nervous
be.
twitch
Yeah, I
every
want
once
to
in a
be.
while, yeah.
Twitch
Well, you
is-
mentioned Pornhub. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Twitch is one of the largest live streaming besides like Facebook Live. I think it's way bigger than Facebook Live. However, it's been traditionally known as the live where you can live stream video games.
Oh, wow.
And you can play with each other, and
Esports.
you talk back
Luigi
and forth.
will be playing Madden and GameStop right
Well,
across the way later.
We have
on.
a special
Tony
little
has
bit
so
worked
many
up for that.
fans on there because of his Madden voice.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew of you before Madden, but then when I got Madden, what was your first Madden?
05.
05. I must have been 06 or 07 because there was a period there where I started to work and then didn't play video games, didn't go to movies, didn't watch TV. I missed out on all this time because I was busy getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing. So then I buy 200008 Madden, and I was like,
I'm
oh,
not
no
in
way,
it. I wasn't in it. I only did 3. I did 3 years.
05, 06, and 07.
Maybe it was 07 then. Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't 08. It was 07.
Right.
I buy that, and I'm like, oh, no way, Tony, cool.
Yeah.
it's like,
there he is.
I
In
recognize
In fact,
that voice.
when Ray Lewis gets announced
Indicted-
as a
I mean,
Hall
inducted.
of Fame, he's not going to be inducted until summertime in
Right.
Canton, Ohio. But when he's going to be announced as one of, he's going to be in. He's getting
in.
Sure,
He's getting inside. When they announce the Hall of Fame class, he will be announced. They've asked me to go up with Ray Lewis to accept
No,
the
they
Hall
haven't.
of Fame because he's on the cover of Madden 05
And
and
you're on the
I'm
back.
on the back. Therefore, I should get an equal spot in Canton, Ohio.
Absolutely.
In the Madden Game Hall of Fame.
So there'll be a bust of Ray and then just a bust next to him, which
Exactly.
will be you. I got
That's
you. No
good.
problem.
I'll be on the back of his. It'll be the only Hall of Fame bust.
And then
where
Tony's
I'll
silhouette
be
on
on
the
the
back.
of his head.
Will you be wearing the thin optics?
I will be wearing
All
thin
right,
It'll
optics.
be
good.
awesome.
You mean it's going to be sort of like
A
our
tattoo.
backdrop? So his face will be on the front, and then on the back, you're going to be the step and repeat.
It's like our rinse and repeat thing.
Rinse
we
and
have.
repeat. Logo,
Rinse
by
and
the
repeat.
way,
Calls it
Tony,
rinse and repeat.
your logo for the show is by far the classiest thing
Isn't it?
in radio. Because it's like I look at it and I go, this guy's gonna sing me a Sinatra melody or something.
You know what you
but
do?
no, it's radio, baby. It's radio.
It is.
We should get the thin optics put on his nose.
Yeah, we should. We got to get that up there. Thin optics, man. Go to the website. Seriously, if you need some, we'll hook you up, man. You have any family members?
Thank you, by the way, because I designed that.
Robin did. She
See that?
designed it all.
Thank
See, it's all Miss Robin right
Thin
there.
optics. You know what they say at Thin optics,
Let's
Robin?
not stand on ceremony here.
Exactly. Always with you.
Yes, it is.
All right.
And also with you. Go in peace.
Yes.
To
Go in
serve
peace.
Thin optics.
Amen.
Amen.
Can I get this MP3 to send to my mom?
Absolutely.
Just so she knows I was praying when I was out here.
Did she watch me when I was on the 700 level with it?
Absolutely. She's watched every episode. Absolutely.
Remember when I came on and I said the Eagles 8-1
Yes.
start the season and people were poo-pooing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were laughed at People thought
I'm a
you were
seer.
crazy.
I have a gift. I think
Kreskin over here. Kreskin over here.
Kreskin calls me now because he's a lot older.
Hey, what do you think about this?
He double-checked his math with Kreskin.
Let me run this one by you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking maybe. What do you think, Tone? Nah. All right.
I know that guy. That's your producer on the 700
That's
level.
correct. That's correct.
And he's like giving you the wrap-up side.
He's like, we gotta go. We gotta
I
go.
hate when people do that. They stand over and they do.
Ridiculous.
Wrap it up, man. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
So you guys are here the rest of the week.
Yep.
We're here until next Tuesday.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but we're live Monday through Friday.
We're here, and then we're going to all the parties. And we're going to go live at we're going to do our shows from here, but we're going to Periscope, Facebook Live tonight at the media event. So you'll see all the Eagle players up in their booths, in their little podiums. You'll see the crowd reaction. I'll go out and interview all my friends, like Access Hollywood people, celebrities who are there.
Yeah.
I got this thing under control.
I think you know what you're doing.
I got it.
Only 29 of these.
And you know who I see every year? Who do I interview every year? Who was a former Fox radio announcer, also a guy who did a lot of sports, but is now on one of the nighttime entertainment shows. The great Kevin Frazier. Do you know Kevin Frazier?
Really?
Kevin
Yes.
Frazier. He's doing like Entertainment Tonight
I
now.
know.
He's killing it.
And I go over and interview him every year at the media night.
Can you introduce me to Mario Lopez? Do you know him?
I don't know Mario, but I know his ex-wife.
But my name is
actually we do.
But my name is
right.
Luigi. I got an in with the Mario.
Okay.
So I can help you out with
Exactly.
that.
He's going to bring another.
know,
He's going to bring the
his
other Mario,
ex-wife
the more popular Mario.
Is who shaved Tony's head for the first time.
Really?
Allie Landry.
We can call. I have Allie Landry's phone number if you want to call.
Let's
her.
call her and get her on. We're going to have everybody on.
Maybe she can buzz my head.
Exactly.
We share that quality, Tony.
You know
It
what's
is
going
an
to buzz
experience.
your head if you keep going out there? A beer can.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah, of course. Protect that skull, bro.
Well, his producer's going to throw a beer can at him if he
I
doesn't
know.
get out
Now,
of here.
where are you going now? Where are you going to go do it?
We have to set up our plan of attack for media night tonight.
Yes.
I got to do a hit on our NBC Sports Philadelphia, and then probably actually go to media night.
We'll go. And
Maybe-
by the way, for those people who haven't been to media night, now the fans are in the stands. They started doing that a few years ago.
Yeah.
But there's no food and booze for the media at media night.
Week.
You have to eat before you go there.
It's
Luigi's
horrible.
going to go there and look for food.
I'm going to tell you my goal.
What's your goal?
My
Price?
goal for tonight, because you know how it is, there's always that one guy that no one's asking questions to.
Right.
So my goal is to be the person asking that guy at least a question or two, and then ask him if he wants to switch positions.
No, that's a good one.
If he wants me to take the stand, and then he asks me
But
questions.
Luigi's going to be styling tonight. He's going to wear. Look at his outfit for tonight.
Oh,
That's from
this guy.
Domenico
Do
up
I
there.
look like Chicken George to you? Are you kidding me? Are you
Actually,
kidding me?
Wow.
We got to
that's a
figure it out.
phrase.
You know. I mean,
We have
I
an
hate to say
official
this, but I
clothing
can,
supplier
I
for
can
our
say
show.
My goodness.
we do, and they are fantastic.
Domenico up there on Frankfurt Avenue, right near Frankfurt and Cotman.
In that case, I
Been
want to
there
thank
40
I
years.
want to thank my clothing supplier, Target. They do
Exactly.
great work.
Target. They make it sound
yeah,
But
more,
here, so you know how there's, and I know that I'm going to be totally stereotyping, and I don't mean to, and I don't mean to insult anybody, but I know I'm going
Oh,
to.
just throw
well,
it
then
to
go
me.
But
ahead and do it.
there
Throw
are
it to me.
always those, what I would fondly call bimbo producers. You know, they have like the low cut dresses, and they show off.
They'll be
things.
there tonight.
Right.
And they're always around. And
Yeah, I'm fans of them.
Well, you know why they
Luigi
do
is
that?
our
To get
bimbo.
attention. Because, you know,
Yes.
there's all these, everybody's
and it
trying to get
works.
a guest on.
And you know, like the lower cut, I mean, you will get people to come over just because of how you're dressed. So Luigi is our bimbo.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody puts baby. No,
Luigi,
Luigi will be
you
the
do it
first
so
male
well.
bimbo.
Thank you, brother.
Do it so well.
I'll be the one Mark will be interviewing later on with no one talking to him. That'll be me.
Exactly. No, but it's cool because they have podiums for like the top 10 players.
yeah.
And then the rest, like linemen and guys, they all sit in the stands and they get interviewed by the media there.
Fine
It's
by
fun.
me. Do I get to sit down?
You get to sit
I'm all
sit
for
down.
it. I hate standing.
I hate standing too.
I
I
hear it,
won't
brother.
stand for any of this anymore. Mark Farzetta, ladies and gentlemen.
Tony
He's
Bruno.
going to make a sacrifice to go here to Minnesota, back to Philly, and then back to Minnesota, wing ball, and then he's going to go to North Dakota.
Yeah.
What?
And then he's going to go all the way to Washington, D.C. and take the White House.
One of the greatest references ever.
Perfect.
My
Thank you,
man,
sir.
Tony. A
Thank
pleasure
you.
as
Mark,
always.
let's give him a
Round of
round of
applause.
applause. The great Mark Farzetta. Morning show, WIC. Angelo's not here because he's got more important things to do, like
Who the fuck is that guy?
wing bowl, baby. Wing bowl. Say hello to all the breasts there for me this week. I know they're wings, but I'm a breast man myself.
You and I both, Tony. I'm a leg guy, but I'll take a nice. You know,
I'm
I'll
a
take
leg. Sometimes I'm mixing a wing, but there's always a breast
And
come first.
remember how we said we probably weren't going to take a break?
Yeah.
Is there any chance we can take a break? I really got to go to the restroom, man.
You can tell. No, we're not taking a break.
Can you guys stream through this without me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think I've done this before.
This is not your first rodeo, Tony.
I've done probably 6,000, just like
And
Animal.
unlike you, I can hold it.
From the Road Warrior Animal, he's done 6,000 wrestling matches. I probably have done 6,000 radio shows in my day. But I escaped unscathed.
And you're both equally concussed.
Exactly. Except my concussion never goes away. I'm always brain dead for your pleasure and your dancing and dining, whatever the hell we say.
Now, you know what? I don't know if the mics can pick up the occasional screaming coming from the roller coasters.
No, it's a little too far away.
I think it is. You can hear it when you're sitting here without the
Now, can you do
headset.
a pan of the crowd? Nobody wants to see my face. Can I pick this up and turn it? Which one's the easiest camera to move around? Because I want people to see the Radio Row, not just my pretty face here.
So now what do you want to do, Tony?
I just want to do a scan. I'll hold it because I can do a good slow scan.
Okay, can you see?
I do like POV. It's like when I do home videos.
It's not on yet.
Okay, turn it on. I'm going to now do.
Okay, so I am now on. So if you can see
that,
it's right here.
This is our banner behind us. And then I'm going to scan around. There's the actual Mall of America in the food court. People are walking around. They're roped off so that no one can physically assault me. No women can come here without my express written content and the express written content of Major League Baseball.
Consent, you mean?
Consent or whatever. We're content. They'll be content once they jump it. But we have tight security. You can see all the other radio stations, but you only see one with a massive, massive set other than Fox Sports Radio, but they got a lot of money. And then you see all the Super Bowl banners up there. You see all the banners up in the ceilings, festooned.
Yep.
And then down the mall, and if you keep going down the mall there, past the Piata and all the great food stores, that's where the Cantina Laredo is, where we had dinner last night. Remember Cantina Laredo?
Speaking of Cantina Laredo, if you mention the Tony Bruno Show and Cantina Laredo together, when you are over here at the Tony Bruno Show Encounter Fan Gallery, we have fantastic gift certificates.
Yes, we will give you. Listen to this. This is the actual retail price is at least $20. We will give you a free Cantina Laredo table-side guac.
Yes.
And it is phenomenal. And also a complimentary casarita. Casarita. Here at the Mall of America in the third level.
Muy delicioso.
So it's a margarita. It's called a casarita. Robin and Luigi had a couple of them last night. And then, of course, she will also get a table-side guac complimentary just by coming by here to Radio Row and the Tony Bruno Show live broadcast. All the people at home, I'm sorry. I know there's a Cantina Laredo up in King of Prussia where we do the great tequila dinners every couple of months. But you're here, and you're fortunate to be at Cantina Laredo, and the great Jay Ziering, who's the manager. We met Jay in Philly when he was at the Cantina Laredo there, and then he's traveled around to open new stores, and now he's been here in Minnesota since September. And how amazing is that?
He's a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man. He looks like me, except better-looking, taller, and younger.
Yeah, well, it's more that he's just taller and younger.
And in good shape.
Well, he
Not
is
a broken-down, battered performer.
He is in fantastic shape. He'll be on the show tomorrow. And for you ladies out there listening, make sure you tune in.
He's single. By the way, I just saw Merrill Reese walk by.
Yes.
You got to get Merrill in here.
I know. He was waving at you.
I know, but I'm talking, and I wanted to. And then Luigi had to go pee, and I could have him go get Merrill because I waved at him, but I don't know if he came in here. I think he wants to avoid the derelicts that are Radio Row people. But here comes Luigi. See if he can grab Merrill if Merrill went out. Merrill had a credential on. Mike Quick didn't. And believe it or not, as great as Mike Quick is and was as a player, they will not let him in here without a credential. Now, did you see Merrill out there by any chance?
There he is, right there. Let me go see if I can grab him.
Yeah. Now, I was... this is Luigi Curto. I'm back now from the restroom.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce a man who just went to go pee and came back. Instead of grabbing Merrill Reese and saying, hey, come on the show.
I don't even like Merrill. No, I'm kidding. I love Merrill.
But
remember how hard it is to get into it, because earlier we had Eddie Royal come over, who was with his agent, and he may come on later on with us, but I don't know if we're going to have time. But he couldn't even get in. They don't let anybody in. They don't let anyone in. We had to get him special credential to be able to get in. We were Ivan, the great Ivan from ESPN, was able to.
Ivan Sikorsky
was able to come over and help us out with that. But they're not even letting Merrill Reese or
Merrill has a credential, so he gets in.
But they're not even letting Mike Quick come through.
No, because Mike Quick didn't have his credential. You have to have a credential. See this right here? I'm not allowed to show it, but you have to have a credential, and it has a barcode on it, so you know it's official.
Right.
It doesn't have a hologram though. Holla, by the way, at your boy.
What'd I miss? Miss anything good, Tony?
No, Merrill's coming over now.
All right, the great Merrill Reese is coming over.
Merrill Reese is coming into Radio Row, and he can go anywhere he wants. He could go to any radio station, any TV network, but he is coming here exclusively, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Bruno Show Live podcast. We saw the great Paul Allen, PA on the mic, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, a great friend and a great broadcaster. But now a guy that goes back.
One of the best ever right here.
Back. Merrill and I probably are now the two longest-standing Philadelphia guys. I think Howard Eskin's up there, too. But Howard tries to pretend that he's younger.
We saw Howard earlier.
How are you, Merrill? Let me get that.
How are you, Tom?
Okay. I'm great. Have a seat. You have a couple minutes, Merrill? Sure. Merrill Reese, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Do I get to ask the question? Does he know how to make this? Does he know how this works and everything?
I don't think so. This is Merrill's first rodeo.
Do I know how to make anything technical work?
Merrill's great to see you, man.
You're lucky I don't put you off the air.
Well, Merrill and I, we were there in '81 in the Superdome in New Orleans. We were in Jacksonville. Now here we are in Minnesota. But I come every year, so this is my 29th Super Bowl. But it's great to have the Eagles follow me to Minnesota. Of all places where we wind up for the next Super Bowl, Minnesota. But the people here are great, Merrill.
It's my third. That's it. My third. But I have been to Minnesota a few times.
And it's a great city. And the people here, you know.
Oh, they're great.
There's all that stuff going on Twitter between the fan bases because of what happened last weekend. And nobody, and you don't condone it. I don't condone it. I don't think it was right or smart. But I think it's cast a little pall on the locals here because they were hoping their team would get in here. But they've been nice to us. I mean, there's no fans here throwing beer cans at us or wanting to beat us up.
No.
They're just a little disappointed because their team didn't get here, and they thought they were going to be here.
Right, and they lost in the most embarrassing fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So you've been here now with the team, came in yesterday. How's it been for you so far? How's it been with the guys? Because we saw the players were walking through here last night. Brandon Graham and Lane Johnson and a contingent of Eagles, but here we are in a mall, and a lot of the people who were here had no idea that there were Eagles players walking through.
Yeah, I mean they're loose, and it all starts with Doug Peterson.
Yeah,
because he is a regular guy. I describe him as a guy you like in your foursome, because he's down to earth. He doesn't get crazy. He doesn't get depressed. He keeps very, very level, and he is treating this. If this can be somehow comprehensible, he is treating this like another game.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, and that's the thing I think that's brought this team together. Obviously, got 8 guys playing well, and Jim Schwartz, but the injuries and the fact that this team, and I know Luigi hates the next man up thing, and it's a cliche, but this team is a classic example of next man up.
Well, let me just explain real fast what I meant about the next. It's not that I hate the next man up, because in sports, it really is next man up, because it's a team game. And in football, there's no other more team game than football. But for me, it was hard to hear someone use the next man up terminology in reference to an elite quarterback like Carson Wentz. It's like if Brady goes down, it's not next man up. When Aaron Rodgers went down, it wasn't next man up. When you lost Jason Peters, yes, Vitae comes in, next man up. When you lost Darren Sproles, Corey Clement comes in there, it's next man up. But when you lose the MVP candidate in Carson Wentz and supplement him with Nick Foles, it's not really next man up. You're taking a lot of steps back. And respectfully so, to all due respect with Carson Wentz. I mean, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to say next man up when you're in reference.
Disrespectful
I think it is.
No, I think Nick Foles is a very solid quarterback.
He is.
I was very upset when he was traded by Chip Kelly. Very upset. I think he's a very good quarterback. He has to be the next man up, or this team isn't in Minnesota today.
Exactly.
I mean, if he loses to Atlanta, if he doesn't pick it up in the second half and suddenly get in sync, there's no NFC Championship game.
You're right, but now all of a sudden the people who were denouncing him because of the Raider game where he had his first full week of practice with the ones and the Dallas one quarter.
Of the whole season.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't even have it in training camp.
I know. That's my point. So he went into the Rams game on adrenaline, and they finished it off and won it. So the next week, everybody's expecting him to come in, but then the third and longs and the pressure, and the Raiders showed up and didn't mail that game in like everybody thought they would. Yeah. And so Carson Wentz then, because of the third down efficiency, was declared not ready and one and done. And you heard all the cliches and all the stuff because it's easy to do when you lose to Carson Wentz. That's Luigi's point. But Foles has played before. You don't forget how to play. You don't learn. You don't forget that you were actually once a pretty effective quarterback in this league.
And you know what else he is? He is a great deep passer. He throws a great deep ball, maybe even more accurately than Carson Wentz in that one aspect of the game. And Carson Wentz is the franchise.
Right.
And Nick makes no pretensions. Nick says, this is Carson Wentz's team. I'm here to do the best I can. But the best he can do. See, somebody asked me last week, can he sustain what he did against Minnesota? And my answer is, well, if he does, he should just go continue right on to Canton.
Yeah, it's not that far, actually. It's closer.
You cannot sustain. He's not going to have a 140 quarterback rating against the Patriots. But he can be somewhere in the 90s. He doesn't have to be that. He has to play a solid game. He has to convert third downs, and he can do all of that.
Absolutely, and we know Belichick with 2 weeks. We've heard that, and Belichick's a great coach, and Brady's the best of all time. But I think the difference, and I don't know whether you'll agree, but Doug Peterson is not afraid. He respects the Patriots, but he's not afraid. If they take a lead, I don't think he's not going to take his foot. He's going to go for it on 4th down, because the team believes in his confidence level of going forward and doing things that's not conventional by most coaches who go into a shell once they take a lead.
You're saying he's Doug Peterson, not Doug Marrone.
Exactly right.
And that's the truth. Nothing against Doug Marrone, who did a great job. But it's clear to anybody who watched that game is once they got the lead, he took his foot off the pedal.
Yep.
They got very, very tentative. They tried not to lose the lead. If this team leads the Patriots in the third quarter 17-7, they want to get up to 24.
Yep.
They want to get up. If they get up to 24, they want to get to 31. They will not stop until the game is a fait accompli.
And that's why I think they have a really legitimate shot in this game. You know, the underdog thing. Now, how much do you buy into the underdog? I mean, the fans love it, but the players feel that, because you remember the championship games in the 2000s in the Dunham and McNabb era. The Eagles were favored in every single one of those games. So when they would lose, it was a crushing disappointment. Now, as the underdog, the other way around, it's almost like this team's feeding off that and embracing it.
I think they did for a while, and I think they did certainly in the Atlanta game, and there was fun about it in the Minnesota game. At this point, you're through all that. So their focus is only on New England. They don't care what anybody thinks. They don't care if they're favored by 10 or underdogs by 10. That's, at this point, they're just thinking about what each individual has to do his part to help them win. You know, it's interesting. Stan Walters sent an email the other day, and he talked about the fact that the legend of Bill Belichick. Do the players worry about the legend of Bill Belichick? He said, no player is thinking about Bill Belichick. He's thinking about the guy he has lined up across from. Now, coaches may think about what's Belichick going to pull off this year. What tricks does he have up his sleeve? He keeps you up at night, but the players don't care about Bill Belichick.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned Stan, because back in the first Super Bowl era, the Dick Vermeil era, I was doing a radio show on WFIL with Stan Walters on the line every Friday night. And I remember when I went to that.
You didn't realize that at the time, Tony. He was auditioning for the pregame.
I know he was.
For the play-by-play
exactly. Job. And then he became your partner as the color commentator on the Eagles games. But Stan and I, before Radio Row and this kind of stuff, I was doing it in a hotel room in Metairie, Louisiana, where you took the phone. Remember the phone in the hotel rooms? You can unscrew the bottom part where you talk into it and put alligator clips on the phone, to the 2 little tabs on the phone, and then go through a tape recorder and do a radio show from the Super Bowl. That was a radio in 1981.
And then they made a device that you could do it.
It was like a suction cup thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that one wasn't as dependable.
The other one was you actually had to screw the phone and then screw the bottom of this device on
exactly, onto the phone and then transmit it that way.
Totally high-tech.
Before that, it was the tin can and a piece of wire. But Melvin and I don't go that far back.
And before that, it was a tom-tom.
which are all more reliable than modern-day Wi-Fi, by the way.
Exactly, yes. Although we got great internet here in the mall. Now, this is bizarre, Mara, because we have the King of Prussia Mall in Philly, which next to this mall, they're the 2 biggest malls in the country. It's kind of bizarre to be in the middle of a mall and a food court and an amusement park next to us.
Yeah, I've been lost for 10 hours.
Yeah, actually, the next place he's going to is TuneIn Radio, which he was having a hard time finding because it's not in this particular corral. It has its own corral right down. What do you call this?
You can see it from here, though. It says TuneIn on it.
Oh, I'll find it.
But see, everything is spread out here.
But we're on TuneIn, so
yes, we are.
This show will be heard on TuneIn Radio
as
well.
Well, it's great to see you, Marilyn. One last thing. How do you prepare? Is it any different for you being in a Super Bowl or a regular season game?
No. I mean, I love it, but I don't prepare any differently other than the fact that I go to media night and you get to see the Patriots a little bit more. But the worst thing you can do in a game like this is feed yourself pages and pages of statistics and try to get them into the game. Do the game.
Right.
Do the game. Have fun with the game. Feel the magnanimity of this game. It's huge. Enjoy every single second of it, but don't do it any differently than you do the third preseason game, if that could be a A fact.
And that's why you're a legendary broadcaster, Merrill, because people wonder about that. So, well, it's a Super Bowl, so I must be nervous now. I've got to be. This is your third.
Tony, I'm nervous before any preseason game. I'm nervous every morning I get up and they say there's a game. I'm nervous. I'm nervous every time I step to the first tee of a member guest.
I remember when you were a great tennis player, and you became a great golfer after your injury.
Well, great is a stretch, but I love it.
I saw Mike walking around, so it's great to savor this stuff. I mean,
it is.
As a fan and as obviously someone who's been around the Philadelphia area like I have all of our lives, this is really special.
That was Deion Lewis.
Eagles right there.
Yeah, the Eagles are walking through.
That was Deion Lewis.
And that's right. I knew it was an Eagle.
Former Eagle.
Wearing shorts.
Merrill's close.
And people wear shorts here. You know, people are complaining about the cold, and we have cold weather in Philadelphia. But we got in the other night. It was 16 degrees, and people had shorts on. The locals were wearing shorts because it's balmy for them. 16.
We got off the plane,
yeah.
And a Minnesota greeting committee gave us each fur hats.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
But did they have a beer can inserted in it? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I have a picture of my fur. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
I bought my own fur hat.
Yeah,
you did. It's right here behind me, Tony.
I think Howard Eskin brought his fur coat collection, though. Is he wearing all of his furs, Maryland?
Howard?
Yeah.
God, who knows what he wears?
We were not on that flight, Tony. We did not get the fur hat.
No, I don't need a fur
Although
hat.
I do have one.
I have one, though. I have an actual Bold North hat.
Yes.
It doesn't say. I had it before it was cool. Oh, look at that. We're going to put that up to the camera.
Let me see what we got.
Hold it up to that camera there, Merrill, so people can see.
Oh, check out Merrill.
There, hold it up there so people can see.
Look at that hat. That's beautiful. What is that, velvet? That's beautiful.
Is that
nice.
muskrat? What kind of
I don't
what kind
know.
of critter did they
Exactly.
sacrifice their life to keep you warm, Merrill?
I just know that it was warm.
Yeah,
That's all.
exactly.
Was it a
That's the
Zinman
important
fur? Or
Howard said it was a faux fur.
A
And
faux fur?
Howard's the
Well,
the
Howard
fur
would know.
He's the fur expert.
Yes, he is.
So he took it off of Lionel Richie's head, man.
Exactly right. Well, Merrill, it's great to see you again, man.
Good
I'm
to
happy
see
that
you.
you're here. I was coming here anyway, but the fact that the Eagles are here makes it even sweeter, and hopefully we get that you don't have a Lombardi curse off. Just like I say with the Red Sox fans when they finally won, the Cub fans. I think Eagle fans, people around the country, some of them will feel good that this franchise finally gets that monkey off its back.
It's time.
It is time.
Yeah.
We need to see it in our lifetime, Merrill.
It's
I know you'll live to 150. I'll only live to 100.
I plan on it.
Merrill Reese, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Can I tell a joke?
Absolutely, yes.
Of course.
Did you hear about the guy who was walking along and he saw something very shiny under a bush, and he reaches in and he pulls out this lamp, and out of the lamp comes a genie, and the genie says to him, "I am so grateful that you've rescued me from under that bush. I will give you any wish." And the guy said, "I wish for eternal life." And the genie said, "You know, everybody asks for eternal life. That's the one wish I can't give you. Give me another wish." And the guy said, "Okay, I wish I live long enough to see the Eagles win a Super Bowl." And the genie said, "Oh, you're a sly one."
See, I can't do jokes because I don't remember them. I'll hear a joke, and then I'll try to tell
You're
it again,
awful at 'em.
and I can't remember the punchline.
Well, that one stays with me until they win a Super Bowl.
I got a lot of jokes. I'm just not allowed to tell them. That's the problem. That's the
Merrill,
problem.
great to see you, buddy.
See you guys.
The great Merrill Reese, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Super Bowl. It's his Super Bowl.
Let's get him a roaring round of applause.
Let's give him a standing ovation. Thanks, Merrill. Great to see you. How great is that?
I just did radio next to Merrill Reese. That's crazy.
Are you saying you do radio? Have you ever said to people, I do radio across from Tony Bruno?
I'm not going to pump you up any more than I already have, all right, homeboy?
No, I don't
Seriously.
need to be pumped.
I'm humble as they come right now.
Damn right.
Now, are our calls working?
Yeah, I put the phone number out there.
So
Okay, let's give out the phone number.
I just let everybody know that right after Merrill Reese that we will be able to take a phone call or two. So go ahead, call
Let's
up.
go to the phone. 619-924-9874. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. And then at night, when we go out, you come out with us.
Ah.
So tonight at the Media Center, right down at the XL Energy Center,
Where the Timberwolves
where
play.
the Timberwolves play basketball, that's where the media event
As long
will
as
be.
I can figure out how to use my new equipment.
There was also some breaking news when I went to the restroom.
Well, we have breaking news.
Yeah,
let's not hold it.
I don't know if that's the
Like you
kind of
couldn't
news we
hold
would
it and had to go to the
do.
bathroom during the show, and I'm the old guy here. What was the breaking news?
Well, the breaking news, like I sounded, is that I got an email from the NFL. And your boy, Darius Rucker's going to be in the house.
Oh, really? Hootie?
Yeah, Hootie's going to be here with Sting doing some
We
pre-show.
saw Sting yesterday.
Yes, doing some No, it was Bono.
Oh,
That
Bono.
was
I get
Bono.
them confused. That's right. Bono was here yesterday.
Well, it certainly looked like
if
him.
he wasn't Bono, Bono should sue this guy.
Michael Stevens says Luigi needs to change his shorts. I'm good, man. I don't get starstruck like I was total professional, man. I'm totally professional, brother.
And this is overwhelming here.
And these pants are way too tight to take off anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They do make your ass look good.
Thank you.
You gotta feel Super Bowl Radio Row.
This is a feeling. It's a feeling unlike any other.
And you
time.
see it. It's only Monday. Wait till later in the week.
When it starts to ramp up,
man. Absolutely off the chains, off the heezy, off the
rails,
sprockets, off the shizzle.
Now, as you can see, a lot of the stations haven't even gotten here yet.
No, because it's Monday.
We were the first on the scene, one of the first on the scene, pretty much.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of the players are starting to walk. Like we said, Deion Lewis from the New England Patriots, some of his players have started to walk around. Now, yesterday we saw Lane Johnson, Brian Brayman,
Brandon Graham,
a few other the Eagles. They were walking around. So basically now it looks like it's the Patriots' turn to take their tour of Mall of America. The Eagles were in here yesterday, and Lane came over and said hello. And now, like I said, and then a lot of the other former players are here. They're starting to come around and talk. T.O. will be joining the table next to us at some point, so maybe we'll be able to get T.O. on as well.
Can we get some calamari for the table?
Absolutely, brother. We can go right over to the joint over here. They got calamari.
With the Italian joint.
They do the Thai style too, Tony, which you and I have gotten a
Italian street food spot here in the mall.
But they also do the Thai chili style, which Robin likes as well, too.
I love the chili style.
Very with the hot peppers, too.
Was it as good as the Cantina Laredo tableside guac?
I don't know, man. That tableside guac was off the hook, bro.
We got to give a shout-out to Brian Harmon at the but he's in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, but see how this works, how friends of friends of friends work? Now, we came in here. We didn't know there was a cantina in the Mall of America. But we were driving in, and Tony knows. He goes, oh, there's a cantina. I'm like, oh, we got to do dinner there.
There's the little robots again. We need to have the robots on.
I call Brian, who's in South America,
right,
setting up a Cantina Laredo franchise over there. I said, Brian, we're over at Mall of America. Do we know anyone here? You can make a call. Let us know we're coming in for dinner. He says, of course. The great Jay Ziering, who was a former bartender at Cantina Laredo King of Prussia, who did some mixology things for us over at Comedy Sports when we were there. He calls him up and says, hey, Tony's here with the gang. You're going to stop in. Can we, let's do something nice for him. We went in. Boom. Jay gave us the red carpet treatment, dude.
And I only had one beer. And Luigi and Robin had two quality Ritas.
Cabo flips, bro. Cabo flips, man.
With the lime, the inverted lime floating on top of the margarita with another shot of the great.
With Grand Marnier in it, right?
Now this is how you know
Grand Marnier.
It was Grand Marnier. Now
in the shell of the lime shell.
Yes, and you flip over
Skin.
the shell.
It's not a shell. It's a lime.
This is how you know I've progressed in my career, because in years past I would have said s'il vous plaît for another one of those margaritas. Keep them coming, because we were offered as many as we'd like. However, no, I stopped at 2, Tony, because I couldn't.
Yourself a roaring round of applause.
Brother. I am.
You notice I'm not out there like those amateurs at the Wells Fargo Center and the Lincoln Financial Field parking lots at 7 a.m.
No, these aren't
drinking themselves stupid.
These aren't session beers or session margaritas. This is quality product they're pouring.
We're drinking top shelf. We're drinking top shelf, and we're not drinking too much, which will allow us to continue our 16-hour-a-day marathons here.
16 hours?
Yeah, that's what these days are going to be.
I know, it's crazy, man.
Now, I do have some news.
We have it's not breaking, though, right?
No, it's not breaking news, but I don't know if you, for the last couple of months, we had been, prior to that, we had been on Periscope and YouTube and Facebook at the same time. And then we were suddenly off, and people were going, hey, what the heck? Well, it was so that the fantastic company that is one of our sponsors, Switchboard.LIVE, they were getting ready to roll out a new product, and it is called Switchboard Cloud, which is why, as of today's show, you can now see us once again, and it's even cleaner and better and more beautiful on not only Facebook Live, but Periscope, YouTube Live, and for the first time, for all of our fanboys out there, Twitch. We are on Twitch, so we are everywhere.
Twitch.
Bitch.
We won't do it. Now, Tony.
I hated to do that.
The phone lines are lit. Now, we can go to the phones.
Are they woke, though?
I don't know if they're woke. We can find out in a second when we call this person.
It's good to, it's good to be lit, but if you ain't woke, then it ain't no good.
You ain't keeping it 100.
You got to keep it
100. All right, let's go to the phone. So now, Jack is the call screener. He's not screening any calls, though.
Jack in the back?
No.
Where is he?
I have a phone call. It's 215-914, so we're going to put you on blind.
Where's Jack screening the calls back in Philly?
Caller, can you hear me?
Hello?
215, you're on the air.
Maybe that's why.
He just dropped. I don't know why. So what I'm going to do is
get screen calls, because I don't want to go blind here.
I know.
I'll do that tonight in the Airbnb.
Let me try to pull Jack up, and let's just make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, I'm just going to pull Jack up.
Are you there?
At home. Okay, hold on 1 second.
I want to hear if Jack. He's back in Philly. Jack?
Jack, can you hear us?
Hello. 215, you're on the air.
You're live on the air, Jack.
Jack, you're on the air, Jack.
He just dropped.
Jack O'Donnell.
What I'm going to do is get screened off. I don't want to go blind here.
All right, we're hearing ourselves
I'll do
back.
that tonight in the...
Jack, you got to turn your radio down, pal.
Yeah. No, so what I'm doing, Jack, we haven't had to tell this to somebody in a really long time. Jack, when you're talking to us, you got to turn your radio that you're listening to all the way down.
Exactly.
So
we have to tell our producer back in Philly.
We got to tell him to turn the radio down.
Honestly, he wasn't expecting us to bring him live.
All right, so Jack there again. Let's check him out.
Okay, we're going to try this again.
Jack?
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
What's the temperature, Jack, in Philly right now?
We are looking at a brisk, like 20-something, 30 degrees, somewhere around there.
Wasn't it like 47 there yesterday?
It's 58 degrees, man.
Dude.
Nah, no, I'm just messing with you. Nah, it's actually not too bad here. It's a little bit warm, a little bit cloudy, but not like anything like you guys are experiencing out that way.
Oh, but it's nice out. I don't go. You know, it's funny.
It hasn't been that cold.
We go outside and it says 10 degrees, and it doesn't feel that cold because this is supposed to be cold here. It's not like we're going to Dallas and there's an ice storm.
When we got out of the plane, when we all walked outside, I think it was 12 degrees outside. None of us, neither Tony, Robin, nor myself, none of us complained about the cold. We all expected. We knew it's going to be cold. You don't complain about the cold when you know it's going to be cold. If you step out in 12-degree weather, expecting 12-degree weather, and it's 104, then you can say, oh, what the hell, it's too hot out here. Right. Then you can complain.
Now,
and I remember, it's like when I go to a beach place, like in the Bahamas in January, and it's too cold to go in the water, then I bitch. But that's the way it is in like Nassau. It's cold in January in Nassau. I don't mean freezing cold, but I mean
cold.
It's too cold to go in the ocean for me because I don't like cold water. It's got to be hot, baby.
But you have to admit, though, if you're walking a really long way and there's a little bit of a wind here, that wind chill, it's not that I'm complaining that it's cold, but it like hurts you, the tips of your ears. If you're not wearing gloves, it's just.
That's why I'm always well protected from head to toe.
Yep.
All the way, brother.
You're like a Boy Scout.
I imagine you guys. The scene from what's that movie? They're making bobsled team when Cool Runnings when they're coming out of the airport.
No, not us.
No.
They hit that.
You think I grew up in the tropics?
That cold weather.
I'm not in the tropics. I like cold weather. When it's supposed to be cold and I go somewhere and it's cold, guess what? I don't complain.
And I'm a snow baby anyway, so I just love weather.
And there's snow everywhere, which is cool.
Yes.
It's not fake snow.
You guys. You do realize that we are one game away from doing that streak down Broad Street. You know that, right?
I may do it here in Minnesota if it happens Sunday night.
We actually need to go on with. You need to go back on with Fox 29, and we need to remind Mike Jarek that this is what you're doing if you guys win.
I'm not getting up early enough for that though. But you know how many interviews?
Not getting up at all, running that cold.
What happens, Jack, on the Monday of Super Bowl week, and it happens every week?
And the count's up to now 5 people in shorts, Tony. 5 people in shorts. Yeah.
Well, it's like 20 degrees out.
He's a basketball short. Who's running ball in -6?
The sun's out, Luigi.
It's a beautiful day here.
You don't see me wearing tank tops. It's friggin' it's cold.
Do you ever go to Philly
when
it's like 21? It's like 10 degrees one day, and it turns out to be 40. I understand. And there's strappers all out there
Tony,
with the tank tops.
I got news for you, pal. It ain't gonna be 40 degrees outside anytime soon.
I know it's not, but in Philly they do the same thing when it gets warm for one day in the winter.
Oh, you don't say?
Yeah,
I'm aware.
All right,
well,
don't criticize the people here.
I'm not criticizing. I mean, he could be from anywhere. I'm just saying.
Andrew Wiggins is here, the guy the Sixers should have drafted.
Wiggy's in the house.
No, he's not. He's the guy wearing Wiggins. Is he still playing? Is he in the league?
Yeah, of course he is.
Okay, can I just say that joke is really old?
Busting your chops.
Hey, let's let Jack go so that he's not.
All right, Jack, are we getting calls in?
No, not yet.
I had one that dropped.
Well, screw the callers.
I'm
so
hanging
anybody
in.
that's listening, we might not have a lot of time throughout the week to take calls depending on who's here.
So when we give you an opportunity,
you gotta call us.
Jump in. Any questions? Super Bowl questions? I don't have tickets to sell. If I did,
Listen,
I'd make myself a fortune.
I'm going to do my best to get you a live interview with Ric Flair when he comes to Philly. I'm going to head down there on Friday, and I'm going to try and see what I can do for you.
He's going to be here. We're going to have him on set with us. Did you hear the animal?
Oh, he's down.
Did you hear the?
I thought he was going to be in Philly on Friday.
I don't know if he is.
But he's coming back here to Minnesota.
Did you hear the exclusive interview we had with the Road Warrior Animal?
I was watching it. Yes, sir.
You're not getting that anywhere else.
Well, Jack, we're sorry you can't be here with us, but we certainly thank you for holding down the fort back there.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Let's give Jack a roaring round of applause now. Now today so far, if you're scoring at home, I went on the Jim Rome show and did like 10 minutes with Jim.
You've been everywhere.
Yeah,
I've had every television station in the. I haven't done any European media yet.
You went on the Spanish-speaking syndicate.
No, that's right. I went on in Mexico City yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
I went on there and I was dropping some Tecate, some Telemundo, some Don Francisco, even though he's from Chile. But I'm going multilingual here. I'm going international. And tonight, you know who I'm going to see? It'll be another reunion
Inez
at
Sainz?
media. Inez Sainz.
Well, I have yet to meet.
The girl that I discovered.
Loves Tony Bruno.
Brian Bollinger and I taking full credit. We were the ones that made her an international superstar.
Put her on the stage.
At the Super Bowl in Miami. The greatness that was. Who was the quarterback for the Bears when the Bears were
Rex
in the
Grossman.
Rex Grossman against Peyton Manning in Miami, and that Super Bowl on the field when they had media day outside, and you actually could go on the Super Bowl field. But since then, they don't allow anybody in the stadium all week because they got to keep it clean, and they don't want schifoso media types walking on the field.
And who was the guy who was savvy enough at 1,000 to 1 put $5 on the opening on his first score of the game, being a kickoff return for a touchdown? Thank you, Devin Hester, Mr. Luigi Curto. Thank you very much.
No, I'm tired of the word. For Jim Rome today, I did. Derek Gunn came over with Barrett Brooks. I did a hit with them on CSN Philly. It's NBC Sports Philadelphia. Who else? I did Chicago. I did Fansided.
Yeah, WGN over here.
WGN in Chicago.
You're going to be doing after the show. You have several lined up.
Waco, Texas.
Waco.
Yes, they want Tony's
They
opinion
want me
on
to be the new leader of the Branch Davidians, I heard.
Oh.
And they're going to make a TV documentary about it, and it'll be on Showtime or Vice, one of those channels.
That won't work because you don't want to marry one woman, let alone 400.
No, I'll marry 400 women. I don't want to be married to one.
Did you hear about Iceland? They're paying men to go to Iceland to marry their women. Yes, they're paying.
There you go, Luigi.
They're paying men $5,000 a month.
Oh, that's what it's exactly the amount I need.
Because they're starting to because over there polygamy is allowed.
In Iceland?
Yes, and apparently there's too many women for the men, and they're paying men to go there and marry these women.
Can I get a direct flight?
So you could marry somebody and pay your ex-wife at the same
Chicks
time.
at the same time.
I could go there and marry like 4 women.
Yep.
Get $20,000 a month.
Yep.
And then be set for life.
Can I still be a side piece?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely. You're grandfathered in.
You're grandfathered
Thanks. I'm so happy now.
You got steak.
Well, in more ways than one, Robin is grandfathered in.
I know, man. That's so bad.
I'm not
Now,
that old.
you know, I wanted to. The great Jay Betzel is listening in right now, and he wrote here on Twitter saying, "Crazy to think that Super Bowl 45 in Dallas was 7 years ago.
I know.
When you guys had me on the Into the Night show talking Super Bowl parties, and there was the taxi cab strike, which was a rough week there. Not only that, and it had the ice storm and.
But you know what else happened? Because we were doing the night show then, and you know what happened?
No, what happened?
When we were in Dallas one night, we got picked up in a super stretch limo.
No.
By Savannah Sampson.
Oh, it wasn't just a super stretch limo. It was a super stretch Hummer.
It was massive.
So, which is somewhat appropriate.
So while everybody's
Hummer,
out,
massive. There's a lot of words being thrown around here, Tony.
And we went to the Vivid party with Savannah Sampson, Sunny Leone, who's now a megastar in Bollywood in India, and who else? All the girls were there. And they picked us up. And Robin and I were in the super stretch Hummer. And we went to this party.
Oh, good.
How good was that?
You.
And Robin was there.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Robin was in her glory as well. I know.
Actually,
right.
that was when the Savannah and Sunny Leone, they actually showed both of us how to pose correctly for the camera.
That's right. That's where I learned the porn star pose. Because, you know, when you do a lot of pictures.
Is that the one you had with the all black on? The picture you guys have, or you're all black.
Yeah.
I think Robin has black and red on
because
as well.
Because if you ever look at, and it's not just porn stars
looks
for
like
those people. It's not like we're promoting pornography. It's there. You like it, you will do. You don't. You know.
The one that's on social, the one that's on the internet now. If you go on like Wikipedia,
whatever.
There's a million pictures. The question is, you know, when you're standing with a group of people, where do you put your hands? You know, a lot of people are awkward.
Nobody knows how to stand. Right.
But I learned. And how do you look at the camera? And
to make yourself look
and
the
there's
best.
a certain look, and those women taught us the proper. And I need a refresher course. Because I'm not
I have
doing
it down
that
now.
as much.
So they know Magnum and Blue Steel cold, like
exactly
they can get it down
right.
just like that.
Exactly,
okay.
And it's a body. It's the whole positioning of your body, the positioning of your head, the tilt, the angle, the eyes.
Because I look like a total jackass anytime I take a picture.
Oh, I'll have to teach it to you.
I'm only good from my left side, though. I don't have a strong right side. I'm strong on my left side.
I'm good from any side, especially the back side.
It's all about the cock of the hip and the shake of the tush.
It's all about The hips. The hips
They don't lie. They don't lie, Tony.
Wasn't Shakira just in the news, too?
No, for what?
Didn't I see something about Shakira?
All right, Tony, let's go back to the phones because we're lit, dude.
All right, let's woke this up, and let's go to the phones.
All right, let's go to...
Let's go to
Josh B.
Josh B. Josh, what's going on, man?
Tony.
Is this
Tony
Josh?
Bruno, brother, what's happening, man?
Oh, this is Josh B. Gum out in the Bay Area, yo.
This is Josh B. Gum, man, from Lafayette, California, on the West Coast.
I know exactly where it is, man. How are the dogs? How are all the dogs doing out there today? Mad love to my dogs out there, by the way.
My brother.
Mad
I just
love.
wanted to call in and tell you and Robin and everybody that I'm doing well.
Yeah, how was your surgery?
The mend.
You had surgery, right?
Yeah, I had spinal fusion in my L5. It was pretty intense.
And then that was like what? Friday? When did you have the surgery?
I had it on Thursday afternoon at about it was about 2:30. It was about a 2.5, 3 hour surgery.
Wow.
Now, are you like in a halo so that you don't move? Like, how do you recover from something like that?
Not at all. Actually, the doctor specifically told me that he wants me up and walking like regularly, like
How crazy is that?
Almost the day after surgery.
But you have
he
to
was
be.
I want you to walk. I want you to walk.
So there's nothing restraining because now the fusion was where? Is it in the upper discs or in the middle? Which part of your spine?
So the L5 is the lower one.
Okay.
It's pretty common for people to get, either like blowout or hurt or twisted or whatever because it gets a lot of action.
That's where my dad has the issues.
Around your back. So he said, once you get up and you just walk. No weightlifting, no twisting, no bending, but just walk. And I've been doing that. I have a walker, but I've been kind of slowly using it just for support and not necessarily for, holding myself up. I just kind of have it there as like a backup. But I've been walking. And I just got out of the hospital yesterday. So I was in the
wow, so
hospital
you're already home. That's amazing, man. I tell you, medical technology is just incredible.
It is.
Just
incredible. So in
Dude.
other words, you're telling us that you are not going to be skateboarding anytime soon.
No, he's going to be down for 3 months.
No,
right?
I have strict orders to take 3 months off. I have plenty of help. I have people filling in for me. They're not going to be doing the skateboarding thing like I do, but they'll be take care
for
of the dogs.
For those of you who
exercise,
don't know,
like
so Josh B. Gum has this amazing dog daycare, and you would regularly walk like 5 to 10 dogs. But you would skate, so you would be on the skateboard, and they would be running, and there's video of you doing it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're no Logan Paul. Let me just say this, Josh.
Now.
You're no Logan Paul, but you're a YouTube star as well, pal.
There you go. So are we talking about the line on the Super Bowl and the action yet, or is that coming tomorrow?
Give me a fresh.
Or where are we at?
No, you can do it today.
Aspect of this
what
game?
do you feel now? The line has gone down, right? Because there's a lot of money coming in on the Eagles. So I haven't looked at the latest line, but what's the latest you have now?
I actually have not. I have not been. That's what I rely on you for, my friend. So,
all right, I got to do it now. Since Luigi's
I
not giving me fresh lines, I need a fresh line on this game.
You got fresh lines?
No, I want the very latest from Vegas Insider.
This morning it was 4.5, but let me check again.
Okay, so you did. Okay, I haven't looked in a couple days.
Oh wow! So it went down to 4.5, and it started at 6, huh? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that
so the money's coming in on the Eagles. A lot of big.
Wow.
A lot of suitcases showing up, and obviously later in the week.
See, now I remember last year they were talking about, Actually, wait, I'm going to rephrase that. It wasn't last year. It was when the Broncos played the Panthers in 50, right? It was a couple years ago.
In San Francisco, yeah.
And they were talking about how the most common bet was the Panthers. Like, everybody was walking up to the table, and they were just throwing down on the Panthers. So the public was just, like, laying the wood on it, but it wasn't the real wood. It was, like, the little sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Like Luigi bets, yeah.
But then when I read between the lines, they were saying that all the big bets, like the whales and the wise guys, those guys were betting on the Broncos. So that was kind of like one of the hints I got to take the Broncos back then. I'm just still feeling it out. And
all right, well, Luigi's got the freshest numbers now. Luigi's got the freshest numbers.
And based on what he just said, it kind of scares me. It kind of scares me because the line opened at 6, which is correct. It is now currently, which I was correct, minus 4.5. However, 58% on the spread and 64% of the betting public money is on the Philadelphia Eagles, which scares me a little bit.
Why?
Because that's a lot of money, just random money going on Philadelphia. It doesn't mean it could be the sharp money. That just means a lot of money. People are just taking the Eagles with the points.
So how is that scare? Why does that scare you?
Because it does scare me a little bit because of the fact that the line keeps coming down. Because like you said, I'm not worried about how many people are betting on the Eagles. I'm worried about who's betting on the Eagles. That's what I'm worried about.
The sharps are in on the Eagles too.
That is kind of a factor, though. I mean, I remember it also said that they said that 9 out of 10 bets that came to that window was on the Panthers, and I was like, man. Usually the public is like, they're just like kind of just out there drinking and partying, and they don't know what the hell they're doing,
taking points.
But another reason for that, Josh, is because the Eagles and underdogs have been the play in this postseason. I mean, the underdogs have been covering out the yin-yang if they still do cover out the yin-yang.
That does hold water. That holds water.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
That is true. And if you go back to, I think the Patriots last year was like, it was kind of the first time that a favorite actually covered, I think. If I have to double check that, don't quote me on it, because I just took my my meds and I'm a little bit flying around with you.
That's right. Luigi isn't on meds and and you're more lucid than him.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm 40. I gotta call in. I'll call in again, and I'll bring my own sound bites, and I'll play them for you because I got some old ones from back in the day. When we were
beautiful, man. We love when people contribute audio to the program. Did you see me on Jim Rome today on CBS Sports Network?
I missed you there, buddy. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to go back and podcast it and check it out. I was bringing the intensity. I was bringing the fun.
Is it on his podcast or is it on yours?
It's on his because I was on his show on CBS. So it'll be go to CBS Sports Network, and Jim Rome show is right at the top of the hour, right out the gate with Jim Rome at 1:00 Central Time and 2:00 Eastern Time. Right? No, it was earlier than that. Robert, what time was it? It was at the top of the hour.
It was it was like at 1:50.
No, it was at the top of an hour. So was it at 1:00?
It was at 1:00 because we were here
live. It was 1:00
live.
Central Time, 2:00 Eastern Time. That's right.
That's some stuff.
And that's where it is. And you could go check and listen to it. There's audio and there's video.
They got you on there quoting some picks or something? Is that?
No, we were just talking about the Eagles, about the Super Bowl.
No, they go way back. So they were like reminiscing, and it was fun though.
We were talking about the old school.
Actually, Jim Rome just posted that, reposted the segment.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it was pretty cool to see up there with Rome's.
Rome and I go back, man. Back.
I was in the back going, rack that guy.
Rack that guy. I got racked.
So how is it up there at Radio? Are you in the stadium right now, or
no, we're in the
exactly?
Mall of America. The Radio Row is in the Mall of America, and this is where it'll be all week.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody goes to.
They got like a roller coaster and stuff in there.
Yeah,
right?
they got a bunch of roller coasters.
You know what's really hysterical, Josh? I can tell that you are like on something right now.
So am I, but it doesn't. You gotta keep going.
Yeah. He's like, dude.
Hey, well, isn't that a little bit of entertainment for everybody? You know what I'm saying?
I was most excited part of this is going to see the amusement park. Yeah, Luigi was shooting hoops in there yesterday.
We were doing the Vikings boats. We're parking the boats or whatever.
Yeah, we were parking the boats. You know those rides where they have the boats and they had a sale. They had Viking ships, and then you put $1 in and you try to park it and then ram that bullseye.
I totally got it first, and then Luigi tried to tell me that.
And then I had some punk kid blocking my boat. He was cock blocking me on a Viking boat. It's an outrage.
It was an outrage.
It's a schooner, you asshole.
Hey, that's an outrage, man.
It is.
That's an outrage. That calls for an outrage soundbite.
It is an outrage.
What's the Christian Bale one you had?
This is an outrage.
I don't know, man. I don't have.
There you go.
Luigi's got all the sound
I know.
effects.
I can't believe Tony forgot his
I got some
soundboard back
Christian
at the
Bale stuff.
Airbnb.
No,
he's got
so, Josh, we want you to recover fast and well.
See if you know what'll be. Call back on Friday because by Friday you will be fully recovered and we'll be totally shot.
Yes, of course.
I mean, you'll see.
We're sucking lozenges right now as it is.
How many of those did you have already?
I had 3. Is that
You're
good?
not supposed to eat that many in one day.
Why?
Because those are
Give them
hard
to me.
medicine.
Oh, this is hard medicine?
Yes,
Yeah.
give it back to
They're
me.
delicious, though.
I know they are, but they're like super heavy duty.
Well, then I'll be combing.
I'm going to need them. I'm the one who's talking nonstop here on every radio
I'm the
TV
only
station in
one
America.
because I am, Dutchahovian.
Dutchahovian.
I'm a Dutchahovian, and I am fine. I'm not sick. I come from strong Nordic stock.
I hear you. All right, Josh. Take care, buddy. We'll talk to you later in the week.
Hey, thank you guys. Have a good week. We'll talk to you later.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot.
There he is, Josh, out there in
All right.
Lafayette, California, in the Bay Area.
Now we do have another phone call before we are ending the show.
We're ending the show already?
No, we have another 15 minutes.
Oh, okay,
good. We should take another phone call real quick before the end of the show so that we can finish up.
We got to hold up Luigi's jacket, too. We'll take a phone call.
But, Tony, can I get into this real quick? Because we were just talking about the underdogs real
Yes.
fast in the Super Bowls. And this is just to take a second as I pull this up. But just going back to when the Patriots started their run here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in Super Bowl 46, the Patriots were an underdog. Now, they beat the St. Louis Rams, so that's one, right?
Right.
Super Bowl, the next year, I'm sorry, Tampa Bay at...
Well, 2001 was Brady came in to replace Bledsoe early in the season.
Right.
And then won his first Super Bowl as a rookie.
The John Gruden Buccaneers were underdog against Oakland. There's
Right.
two, right? The following year, the Patriots, 32-29 over the Panthers. They did not cover that game.
Right.
Then the next year, the Patriots over the Eagles. They did not cover that game. The Pittsburgh Steelers at Seattle. They did cover. Pittsburgh did cover that game. Indianapolis at the Chicago Bears. They covered. However, then you look at the Giants beating the New England. Underdog winner. Steelers beating the Cardinals. The Saints at beating Indianapolis, that was an underdog. The Packers beating the Steelers, that was an underdog outright winner. The Giants again beating New England was an underdog. Baltimore and San Fran was a push. Seattle smoking Denver, that was a huge underdog.
Right.
New England beating Seattle, that wasn't a cover. Again, and then last year was New England beating cover. So it has been traditionally the dogs have covered the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yes.
people like to bet the dogs, and especially on the money line, if you think they can win the game outright, that's what you're going to do.
Now, are we going back to the phones, Robin?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
we are going to go back to the phones. We are going to go to Anthony calling from
Paranzino.
Philadelphia.
Beautiful. Ant, what's going on? Can I call you Ant?
Hey, Tony.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, fine. Hi, Tony. I'm a longtime fan. Hi, Robin and Luigi.
How are you?
Listen, I'm coming out to the game.
You are?
With my son. The last Super Bowl I went to was in '80, and we were lucky enough to get tickets in the lottery. I've been the season ticket holder for the Eagles for 30 years, and so we're flying in on Thursday. So give me the scoop. I want to take my son. We got a hotel. I think we're right near the Mall of America.
You got to come to this mall. It's a
and,
great mall. One thing you got to do, because the amusement park here is a Nickelodeon-themed park, so there's all kinds of great rides. It's a great place. I mean, if you don't want to overpack and you just want to like buy a warmer jacket and stuff, there's everything in here.
The crazy thing is, as soon as we went to the roller coaster area, the first thing Robin saw was that one ghost strip in here. She goes, "We're doing that."
Yeah,
that's
no.
what she goes. She goes, "We're doing that."
It's a legit amusement park. It's not like a little kiddie land, that they set up in a carnival ride in South Philly at 10th and Bigler. I mean, this is legit. There's no guys with like the sawdust rolling it out on the Tilt-A-Whirl ride.
I just need somebody to show me how to hog tie Luigi so that I can get him on one of
I
those.
can't go on that kind of a drop. That's
There's
got
no
too many
carnies.
inversions. Too many inversions.
You could totally do it.
My son's 32, so I like to take him through Radio Row.
Well, yeah,
How
you
do I
can
get credentials to do
You don't
that?
need credentials for Radio Row. You can't come into it's enclosed, but you can see everything. So it's right in the middle of the Mall of America, near the amusement park on the 3rd level. And you walk around and there's people standing there and
we got
we got people right here. I mean, you can practically touch us if you're here.
Yes, I come over, I kiss babies, I slap backs.
We are right across from the Shake
I sign
Shack.
flat objects, I sound round objects.
At no additional cost.
Okay. At no additional charge.
Shiny objects.
Shiny objects.
Oh.
And you'll see all
Well,
the
you know what's
different
funny,
media people. No, the Mall of America is great. So if you're close by, this is where all the action is, all the press conferences.
Plenty
Now,
of
you won't be able to get into the press conferences and that stuff, but you will be able to walk around and see the Radio Row right in the middle of the food court. And then all these different media people are set up, all different parts of the mall. So it's a weird thing. A lot of media people I talk to, they don't like changes, but every city's different. And even though we're in a mall and the acoustics aren't perfect, it sounds good. I heard somebody complaining today about the acoustics. Does it sound like we're in a mall?
No, it sounds good.
Well,
Sounds
I
good.
mean, we have fantastic equipment.
One of the things that I did, I told my kids this story. You probably have stories over the years. When in '80, I was 25 years old, and we got tickets from Jim Murray to go to the game. We had no hotel reservation.
The late great Jim Murray. Yes.
No rental car. Huh?
The late great Jim Murray.
No rental car. Nothing. And we were able to get a rental car because this is pre 9/11. And Hertz used to put the names up on top of the dais. Just gave a name. Tell them I left my wallet back in the hotel room. Do you mind taking my friend's information?
You stole somebody else's car? You took somebody else's
Gold number 1, bro. I was a Gold Club member, and they always have my name up there when you go up to the Gold. Hertz Gold, number 1.
So you're like OJ running straight after the aisle?
I ran straight, except I didn't kill anybody and get away with it.
So in other words, if you ever went up there and your car was missing, Anthony took it. He's
you took my car in New Orleans in Metairie?
Right.
Well, Metairie?
And then we didn't. We decided we wanted to stay. We went on Bourbon Street. We decided we wanted to stay at the Hyatt, right?
Yep.
And we, of course, we didn't have any reservations or anything. So I started talking to one of the guys behind the desk, and at that time I was traveling for business, so I knew my way around a little bit. And we bribed a guy. One guy hadn't checked in, a New York reporter, and we got his room. Because once you get somebody's room, they can't kick you out.
Oh man,
squatters' rights, man.
You got it down, man. See, I would go there and I would just drink in a urine stained. I would go to Bourbon Street every night, and you would find me cooped up in a corner with urine and beer cans, and I felt right at home, man. Because they hose it down. And people who haven't been in New Orleans, they hose it down every night. New Orleans is the only city where they have to hose down the city every night, man.
Now, I have never been to New Orleans.
And you saw what they did this week. They had to clean out the storm sewers, and they found 93,000 pounds of beads in the sewers from all the Mardi Gras. So any guy, whenever throwing beads at women who were pulling their tops up, they were really bad aims, man.
Somebody
because
just
all
pointed to me and said, they were probably all from you. No, I did not bear my breast.
No, whenever I threw out beads from floats, whether it's Gasparilla in Tampa or the Mardi Gras, which I've never been on a Mardi Gras float, but I've been to the Mardi Gras.
So you were...
my aim was perfect, man.
Right, so you were more like Larry Bird at the free throw line as opposed to Shaq.
Exactly
right.
Okay,
you were
any woman who was showing the goods, she was getting beads, and she was getting the beads placed perfectly, not in the sewers. That's what 93,000 pounds of beads.
Well, they didn't really have much aim when you're completely annihilated on hurricanes, drinking hurricanes.
So now you got your tickets to come out. Well, I'm hearing now, because I haven't checked the local ticket market, but I saw a story yesterday that on StubHub, the majority of the ticket sales on StubHub on the aftermarket are coming from Pennsylvania and Philadelphia area. So and now I'm hearing also that the ticket prices have gone down. So this may be a good opportunity to grab some tickets and not have to pay $8-9 grand.
Yeah, they have gone down. They've gone down from 7,000 to 3,100.
Wow, a bargain at twice the price.
Right. So.
No, because face value is still over 1,000.
And we were lucky enough in New Orleans, right? It was around 2:30 in the morning. We're in the Hyatt coffee shop. We got into the Hyatt coffee shop. There was a line like 2 blocks long to get into it. We bribed the busboy. We got a table. We're in there 5 minutes. They come to sit somebody down and said, "Oh, well, we don't know how we got the table." John Madden and Dick Stockton came in, sat right next to us. It was the first year Madden was broadcasted before he was with Summerall.
Yep.
He was with Stockton. Madden was great. He talked to us, took pictures with us. Great guy.
No, he's one of my favorite guys and a good friend, too. I've gotten to know him and know John for a long, long time. Every time I go to the Bay Area, I go see him. He's phenomenal. And did you go into the White Castle, though, on Bourbon Street? Because when I was there the last time, I told you it was Richard Grieco was in there. Richard Grieco in a White Castle at 2 o'clock on Bourbon Street.
From Night the Roxbury fame.
Yeah, and I forget who he was dating at the time. It was, what's her name? The chick who's all strung out on drugs now, which could be one of 100,000 different women in L.A.
Exactly.
No, she's the one with the pretty eyes.
Right.
Who was he dating?
A girl with pretty eyes strung out on drugs.
Yeah, no, but it was a well-known celebrity chick.
Oh, is that the girl from Sharknado?
Yeah, what's her name? The chick in Sharknado. Tara Reid.
Yes.
Tara Reid and Richard Grieco. You don't get that kind of celebrity.
Match made in heaven.
You don't get that at 2 a.m. anywhere else, baby, except on Bourbon Street in White Castle.
That's a great sighting. That's a great sighting.
A sighting?
And then the next day we got it. And the next day we got into Brennan's and we didn't have reservations. How about
that? Man, you are. I want you to come here and hang out with me. Because well, we're getting in our own parties this week, though, because I had to work 29 years. I don't have the good ability to just slip in to like Brennan's on Bourbon Street and get in. I mean, Chris Maragos apparently couldn't get a dinner reservation here in Minnesota because he told him that he was an Eagle, and they supposedly shut him out. But hey, you know what? It's not a huge town. There's only 350,000 people here.
I got reservations at Manny's. I faked like I had reservations, and I talked them into it, and they put me back on the list.
That's a great job out of you, man. Let me give you a roaring round of applause. Well, if you come into the Mall of America, come by and say hi.
I'll make sure I say hello.
You got to come by.
You
You'll
can't
see
miss
it.
us.
We are basically, we have the biggest location on Radio Row.
Other than a TV station.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're the only radio station that's got what we have.
Well,
Fox Sports Radio doesn't count. They're a network.
Rob, if they gave us 8 more feet, I'm pretty sure we would probably knock Fox Sports out of the box
Damn right.
now. If we hold the
I
stuff
built
we
that place. I built that place.
You literally did. Yes, you did.
Sure did.
And Tony, we have what's called on the ticket sales.
Well, Anthony, check back with us later, man. We'll get together.
I will.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
You can get
How about that guy?
You can get in for as low as 3,200, 3,250, and then you can get in for as much as 14,000.
Of course.
But compared to other Super Bowl seats, it's kind of a bargain. You know what I mean?
And especially when you consider there's some heavy hitters in Philly with big money. And let's be honest, most of the people who go to the Super Bowl are not your Joe Six-Pack fans. You got to drop a lot of coin to fly out here, get a hotel.
You're talking, if you're here for the week of, just rental car, hotel expenses, you're looking probably $8-9 grand.
Easy.
Just at the hotel expenses.
Because most of the hotels will not allow you to have fewer than a 3-night stay.
Correct.
So if you're coming in for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, check out Monday, they're going to nail you because that's when everybody wants to come. Nobody's here from Monday to Friday. When I say nobody, most people can't afford to be here for 7 days or any other city. It's not just Minnesota. It's an expensive proposition in a Super Bowl town.
It is.
So you're talking $15,000 if you're here for the full week. And that doesn't include parties are like $500, $1,000 to get into these things.
They start at least like $500.
And those are the low rent parties.
Yeah.
Most of the big ones, the Maxims, they're like $1,000 to get in, Robin.
We ain't paying.
Well, no, actually,
the
low rent ones probably start about $150, $200.
Yeah, but that's too low rent for even me.
Right. No.
I don't even like look in the window of those.
And
parties.
then you have the invite only parties, which if you really want to go, you can way overpay and schmooze somebody.
And that's in every city.
Speaking of schmoozing.
Yes.
There's somebody that people are wondering who's sitting across from you, Tony.
Who is that guy? I recognize him from somewhere.
He has probably been your soundboard guru.
He's a technical guru. He's not just a soundboard.
I know, but
Luigi's
he's been your
a soundboard guy.
But like he started.
Robert Grussman's is like a pioneer.
Yes, but
he's
what
not
I'm saying,
that old.
like
He's got earrings. He can't be that old.
He has been and has had to listen to your voice for most of his career.
Robert, move up to the mic here now. Now, not only did Robert Grussman work with me in L.A.,
Who the fuck is that guy?
It's Robert Grussman. Then he moved back to Philly, and he was working there for a while.
That's awesome.
And then he realized he was in Philly, and he got the hell out of there. Now, are you still in the Philly area? Well, his mic's not on, Luis.
He made you sound good for a big part
where
of
are you?
big
What are you
chunk of your
doing
career.
in Philly now?
Working for that station.
Which one?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
The Fanatic.
Okay, well, we can say anything. We're independent here. I can have CBS, ESPN, ABC, NBC, Telemundo, Univision. I can have Fox Sports, ESPN Radio. I can have Sporting News Radio. I can have
BBN.
What's that?
BBN.
The BBN network, the BBW network. I can name it the CW.
You know what's even better, though, is that those networks...
Me TV. I can even go on there now.
Nice. Those networks can all come on your show because there's no conflict.
Exactly right.
That's a big deal, actually, around
Who
here.
else has this kind of independence, Robert?
Nobody.
Nobody. Who else has a bigger set on Radio Row? Other than the Fox Sports Radio set, but that's a network. They got 15 shows going on there.
I don't know. I'm looking around. I don't know anybody.
No, seriously. Look at our stall.
Yeah, you have a very nice setup. I like it. We got kind of in the corner.
We got the rinse and repeat behind us.
Yeah, the rinse and repeat.
No, yeah, it's rinse and repeat.
Especially this show.
Yes, exactly.
See, now he thinks it's funny, but we actually do have a step and repeat on the back of
Step
this.
and repeat, it's called. It's a backdrop that you see.
So this is the backdrop on the front, and then the
we
step and
couldn't
repeat
afford
on
the
the
red
back.
carpet, though, for our guests to walk on.
We have a man with a conductor and I believe
what time's the train leave, bud?
banjo.
It's a guy with a banjo.
Is that a banjo?
Yes, that is a banjo.
Cannonball Paul. You're damn right. Screw Timberlake. I'm not going to say screw Pink because she's a Philly area girl.
He's an old-fashioned railroad musician.
Give us a little. Give us something, Paul.
Minnesotan Super Bowl
Okay,
stuff.
give us a quick little riff.
Give us a little something.
Just play the damn banjo. We got you on here. No, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. You just
I don't
have-
want the NFL to throw me out of here. Bring that mic over, Cliff.
One cold January day, as I headed to the Super Bowl, I could hear all the people say,
Everybody now.
Here come the New Orleans Patriots, they're wide and fat and tall. Well, I came down to Pickett for a while. My name is Cannonball Paul. Hey!
Yeah, Cannonball Paul, ladies and gentlemen. 2 shows nightly. I think Saturday he's going to do a late X-rated show, Cannonball Paul.
That's hot.
And then the Blue Show at midnight. He's going to the Cannonball Paul, and on his name tag it has Paul exclamation point. You don't see that on many name tags.
What's the
He's a vaudevillian troubadour. He's a troubadour, Tony. One of the last troubadours walking around.
Exactly right. Now, of course, Dan Band from the Dan, he has Dan on it, like a shirt like that with your name.
Right.
But his just says Dan. His says Paul exclamation point.
Correct.
And now the Bloomington police are about to arrest.
Yeah, you're about to get arrested there.
What do you guys call a bunch of millionaires sitting around watching the Super Bowl?
What do you call a bunch of millionaires sitting around watching the Super Bowl?
The Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, they're about to call him Jailhouse Paul if he doesn't step away from the curtain.
Now the Viking fans can throw beer cans at you.
That's
pal,
right,
not at
buddy.
me. There he is.
You take the shift off the Eagles.
Paul, old-fashioned railroad musician, vaudevillian troubadour.
One of the last troubadours, Tony.
Exactly. And I think
What the hell just happened?
That guy was legit, though. He wasn't like some Johnny-come-lately troubadour.
I was waiting for him to play a little Stairway, man.
Yeah, I think he does.
On the banjo? Yeah, why the hell not?
He's unplugged. He's doing an acoustic set here.
He'll probably, his hands will fall off by the time it's over,
Right.
but it's okay.
It's like an acoustic set that you get late night. You know,
It's
you
a
go to
sonic
bar.
session. It's a sonic session.
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
it is.
Sonic session.
Forget Nirvana unplugged. We got Paul, Railroad Paul unplugged.
Railroad Paul. You're not getting that on Amtrak.
No,
you're not getting that on SEPTA commuter rail.
Well, you might
You're
get
not getting
that
that
on
on
Transit.
It's
Not on the
Cannonball
Marcus.
Paul.
What did I call him?
It's not railroad. He's wearing a railroad engineer's.
No, what does it say right there?
Cannonball Paul.
Old-fashioned railroad musician.
Yes, but his nickname is Cannonball
I know,
Paul.
I said that, but he's an old-fashioned railroad musician.
But as we've all learned, you can get oral on the Broad Street line at some point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Especially if you win.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. It's commonplace.
With work boots.
I used to go in the 700 level. When I was younger, before I got married, I would take women in the 700 level so I can have some privacy and do whatever I wanted to do.
Like sleep.
Exactly.
Right.
Cannonball Paul, ladies and gentlemen.
frick is
You're
going
not
on?
getting that anywhere else, are you?
No.
Now, Robert, your thoughts so far of this Super Bowl. Now, how many of Super Bowls have you been to?
I believe this is number 12.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not a greenhorn like
my
Luigi
first
is
one.
here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Luigi has
It's
been
your
on a
first
fish.
one?
Luigi has been a
As you
greenhorn
can tell
on
by
the,
his attire, he hasn't learned yet that he doesn't
we
need to
are
dress up for
representing
this.
a clothing company. I'm wearing the clothes. That's what's
I'm going to be
happen.
wearing it too. We even have an official clothier of the Tony Bruno Show now.
Nice.
Yes.
Very
See
nice.
what I mean?
I've been to other things. I've been to college national championships and things like that. But this is my first actual Super Bowl.
And we're wearing Domenico, our formal. It's not really formal wear. It's clothes for the modern male.
But it did work out pretty well though, because I said when I first started this, I said the dream would be to go do Radio Row one day, to do it alongside my idol in the business, and Tony Bruno.
And
wouldn't it
Robert
be
Gruffman.
and wouldn't it be great
Man,
if
you
my
have low
Eagles
standards.
if my Eagles were finally playing in the Super Bowl when it happened, and it finally did happen? I do have low standards. That's why I never get disappointed.
Ridiculous. So you're here working for 97.5. You're working for the entire. Now, what company owns them now? I can't.
Beasley
Oh, that's right. It
Media.
used to be Greater Media, and then
Yeah.
Beasley Broadcasting bought them out.
Yes, the
I heard a
cheapest
really
company in
good
the world,
company. And the boss man there is a friend of the program.
Yeah, Bill.
Not Bill.
Joe.
What am I going? I'm sorry.
Who?
Joe.
Who?
Joe Bell. Hello.
Joe Bell.
Yes. Yes.
Joe Bell
not
from
Ma Bell.
Miami. Joe Bell
sorry.
tried to hire me in Miami when he was running the WQAM down there, and I said Miami Beach.
And his lovely, lovely wife. I mean, they are wonderful people.
Yeah, they really are. They're good people. Good couple.
Yeah.
And so you're out here doing what now?
I'm out here engineering for Anthony Gargano and Mike Missinelli.
Are they here?
Not yet.
Not yet.
They come in sometime tomorrow.
What kind of weak
I
ass
don't
stuff is that?
I know.
You're
I
coming
know.
to my
Get
radio
out!
row.
Get out!
And you're going to come here and half-ass it?
Yeah.
That is an
Pretty much.
absolute outrage.
Totally.
We've been here since Saturday night, man. This is dedication. This is the Eagles haven't been in a Super Bowl since 2005.
I know.
This isn't like Patriot
And I believe
fans.
you and I were at that one, too.
You're damn right we were. You know why? Because we're veterans. We take our craft seriously.
Exactly
That's what we
right,
do.
baby.
We're not some Johnny-come-lately.
Man, we got
show
some
up
stories
on
from.
No, we're
Jack's
rinse and repeat
film.
around here. We're not Johnny-come-lately.
Speaking of taking it seriously, we have now come to the conclusion of the show, even though we don't really care about going over. But you have several appointments to go on other radio shows.
That's right. I'm going on Waco right now.
Nice.
So
I
do
think
need
Janet
to keep
Reno
track.
was going to come on, but she's not available today.
And since I need to
Watch
keep
out
track
for the
of your
ATF.
schedule, I want to remind everybody that we will be back on again tomorrow.
No, we'll be back on live tonight from Media Night.
Yes, but the show
We will be
live.
there. We won't have a set, but we will be there walking around live on Facebook, Periscope.
No, only Facebook
Only
tonight.
Facebook
yes,
tonight?
I can't
Okay.
do the whole production without all of this equipment. So when we're walking around, you're only going to be on Facebook
And you'll
Live.
see all up
But-
close. You'll get up close and personal.
Yes.
You'll see Carson Wentz. You'll see Nick Foles' nostrils. That's how close we will be to the ass.
Well, you will also see me and Morris Day.
And you'll
together,
see
which is
Luigi
the
with
more
Morris Day
important
and the
part.
time
Day and
tonight.
the time.
They'll be
Little
there
jungle
tonight.
love.
Now hold up the jacket. Get that, because Luigi will be wearing. I'm going to wear my. I'm not going to wear a formal tonight, but I do have 3 different formal ensembles.
So you look good in a
that I
suit.
will be busting out for this, courtesy of our good friends over at Domenico up on in the Northeast, right on Frankfurt Avenue, 7153 Frankfurt Avenue. They've been there 40 years. Legit stuff. How beautiful is that, Tux?
I like that.
Morris Day and the Time are going to want that
It's
tonight.
almost a little Hugh Hefner-ish.
Yeah, but I already have the. I have
it's
the
just
Hugh.
Morris enough, but Hewish.
Having been to the
Hewish.
been to the mansion, as you know, multiple times out in L.A.
The Tony Bruno wing.
Exactly. I had my own wing,
I know.
and
it's
I could say, luckily,
gone.
I was there
gone.
before when it was legit. Now it's over. It's all over.
Yeah,
The party's
because-
over at the
No, it's
mansion.
not.
Now it's
well, at the mansion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
now
talking
it's owned by Bimbo.
The Bimbo guy
Which is so
bought the
appropriate.
Playboy
Exactly,
Mansion.
right?
Bakery?
Yeah, the guy who
Yeah.
owns the Bimbo Bakery lived next door to the Playboy Mansion, and when Hep wanted to sell it, he wanted to make sure that he could still live there, even though whoever bought it. So he's obviously recently passed away.
Right.
But that was part of the thing. He didn't want to sell it to just anybody with a lot of money. So the guy who owned Bimbo bought the mansion property too, right next door.
Because he didn't
All
want
right.
those raucous parties going on anymore.
Exactly.
So no more bimbos by Bimbo.
Nope.
No.
All right.
Now you only have to
Yeah.
go to a bakery to get Bimbo. Or don't the Philadelphia Union have Bimbo on the front of their things? Aren't they
Yes,
sponsored?
they do.
Yes, they do.
They're sponsored
do.
by Bimbo.
A few bimbos in the stands, too, last time I
Well, you
checked.
got to have them. They'll be there tonight, too, at all the
Since
parties.
my wife is a Spanish teacher, she would be cringing right now by the fact that you're calling him Bimbo.
How do you pronounce it?
Bimbo.
Bimbo.
Yeah.
Bimbo.
Sempre domingo, sábado elegante, Don Francisco.
Bimbo.
Tide Pods, a Tide. I love when they do the commercials, though. Tide.
The best of the Spanish soap operas.
Oh, yeah.
It's always Maria.
The best, no, you know what the best is? The Tecate.
Soccer.
The Tecate girls.
Yes.
And the weather chicks. I was talking to the guys in Mexico City. I said, you know, Inez
Talk about
signs.
talent.
We talk about weather. Nobody even cares what
If
the
they get it
temperature
wrong,
of the
they can care
forecast
less.
is.
No.
Nobody. They were giving Cecily Tynan on Channel 6 trouble a couple weeks ago or last week because she wore an outfit that they didn't think was appropriate. Have they watched Spanish TV?
I know.
The weather
Seriously.
chicks down there?
Well, you know, the only thing better than the weather chicks on Latin TV is the Italian TV where the news anchor actually takes off her clothes
Exactly.
during the show. Like, so she's talking about
Wasn't
news.
there? Wasn't there? Yes. Wasn't that a website? Is it still?
I don't know, but I just remember
used to
doing
be
a story about it.
nakednews.com.
Yeah, it
like
was
a
naked.
subscription.
But I don't watch it.
But it was
I don't
regular
watch that
Italian
stuff.
TV. Like, it
I
was
don't need
on.
that
And
kind
it
of-
was like throughout the news
Yeah, I don't want
program.
to be teased while I'm watching the news.
I'm too busy
like,
playing.
depressed and horny at the same time. It just doesn't work.
I'm too busy playing World of Modern Witchcraft at night on
I
my
kind of feel like a
computer.
scumbag getting aroused during a hurricane. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It
Think
feels
there's
like a
just
scumbag.
something
I want to
wrong.
feel bad for the high school shooting, but she's hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
How-
man.
How many
It is
kids
wrong.
died? God damn.
By the way, now are you set up here in Radio Row?
Not yet. We're gonna
Where are
be
you gonna
like,
be?
Like right over there.
You're going to have
Somewhere.
a crappy little table, all right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have the Tony Bruno set,
Now
right?
people are asking for the cuz to come on.
The guys will come on. What
Yeah,
time?
the
But
cuz will
he's
come
on
on.
early, though.
Well, he's gonna be on from 5 to 9.
5 to 9 local
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
At 6 to 10 in the
Means
East.
I got to get here at 4.
Dude, when Angelo Siciliano and I did this, Andrew Siciliano, we were on at 5.
I know.
In L.A.
I know. I'm
I
not
don't
looking
know if we can
forward
do
to
that.
it, though.
He keeps
an
tell-
outrage.
he keeps
See,
telling me
the only
stories of this
way
stuff.
that we could do that is if we stayed up the night before, that she didn't go to bed, and you could go on
What day
right
are
at
they
the beginning
coming
of the show.
What?
Wednesday morning, their first
Wednesday
day?
morning, first one.
Let's see. So we
Oy
have the
vey.
media party tomorrow night. That's kind of lame. It's just a bunch of slobs at the amusement park.
They get
you
in
going
at
to that?
4:45 tomorrow. I'm not going to anything.
What are you talking about, man?
Dude, you know me. I'm a stick in the mud.
But we got the amusement park right here.
That I'm gonna do.
That's where the media party is tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, free booze.
It's
so you know there'll be a lot of.
No, it's inside.
It's inside.
No, but I have to go outside to come back inside.
This mall is massive, man.
Wow,
When
you
go to
are
King
lame.
of Prussia, when you go to the
I'm old.
When you go to the Roosevelt Mall in the Northeast, do you complain that you have to go outside to go into the?
No, you are fully strapped when you go to the Roosevelt Mall.
Nobody goes to that mall.
When you go to the Chamonix Mall.
People are stopping going there too, Tony.
Yeah,
They're stopping going there.
I think Oxford Valley is as far south as I go.
It's about as
It's
clean
not
as it
even
gets.
Oxford Valley anymore.
What is it now?
It's Philadelphia.
No, that's Franklin Mills.
That's Franklin
That's
Mills.
Franklin
That's
Mills,
right.
yeah.
Okay, Tony, I'm going to do something to you that you hate.
What? Wrap me up.
Why are we wrapping? Oh, because you got to make hits.
Yes, he has a schedule to keep.
I've done Rome show today. I've done everything today.
Nice.
And Monday's the day when nobody's here yet, so that media people interview each other.
You ready for this?
It's only Monday.
I got
like
hits
I've
to
been
do
here a
tonight.
week
Even
already.
Luigi's doing interviews.
Nobody really listens to him, but
I'm the only one that's going to keep working.
Damn right. What do
I
you think
gotta
an
do
interview is?
Yeah.
That's why I brought lozenges. By Friday, I won't be able to talk. It's an outrage. But I'm doing this for you, folks. I want you to know. This is the kind of dedication to my craft.
Not Dead Dog dedication.
Not Dead Dogs. Casey Kasem, we'll play that later on in the week. We'll come into an up-tempo number, and then we'll. We don't want any we don't want any slow songs.
No.
We got to come in.
So
we go
where are my
in.
headshots?
When
Exactly.
we left off, when you interrupted me last, was
sorry.
that we were going to be on live here
Tonight.
tomorrow through Friday
Every
from
day,
2 to 4 Central,
3 to 5 Eastern
Eastern
time.
And you can catch us on all the different platforms that I mentioned before.
Everywhere.
And then make sure that you follow Tony on Facebook Live and subscribe to his videos, because we will have sporadic hits here and there.
We do everything
depending
sporadically.
on what celebrity you encounter and what activity we are
Tonight,
doing.
you want to see behind the scenes
When's
night?
the Maxim party?
I don't know. I never go to the Maxim party. I don't go to that.
I'm married now. This is like as wild as I can get.
Maxim party's all right. I want to go to the EA party. That was the best party in Houston.
I would love to go to that.
And it's not the Madden Bowling. It's not guys sitting around slapping each other's weenies and playing video games. No, it's big. They had the chain smokers. They had
Which was
nice.
awesome
It was
last
awesome.
year. That was way
That's
cooler
the
than I
party
thought it
right
was gonna
there.
be.
And then we're going to all the parties, man. But not Maxim and not Playboy.
Okay, Tony.
I don't play that.
All right,
Homie, don't play
get off the air.
Robert Grossman, let's give him a roaring round of applause. You need to get out more, man.
For the people who couldn't see what happened between me and Robin and I right there, that was gold.
What happened?
It was just gold.
Sometimes we think alike.
So tonight, live, the Eagles will be on the podium at, I wrote it down here.
They're going to go
Eagles
8?
are going to go 7 to 8:10
7 to 8.
Central, 8:10 to 9:10 Eastern time. I mean, that's the Patriots. I'm sorry. The Eagles will go on from 9 to 10 here, which is 10 to 11 p.m. in Philadelphia. So 10 to 11 tonight. You want to see the podium. The Eagle players will all be there. I'll be schmoozing, walking around. Luigi will be watching. He'll be a fanboy for Morris Day and the time.
I haven't seen him in 20 years, Tony.
Said,
I was the only white guy at the Sands in Atlantic City, in New Jersey, to see more. I went into that concert. I was the only white person in the entire concert.
You
I
want
love
a badge
Morris
or
Day.
you want
Part
to
of
chest
this
the pin it up?
wrap up. I mean, we seriously, don't keep talking.
I
He has
talk
to
radio
go.
as I want. I'm like Jack FM. I do whatever I want and play whatever I want.
No, you for the most part. I make you think you do, but right now we gotta
We got to
go.
shut it down, folks.
I'm sorry, Tony started
This
talking
is
like
Operation Shutdown. On behalf of Derek Bell and the Pittsburgh Pirates and all of our shutdown mode friends out there, shut it down. Shut it down. We'll see you tonight live at the Media Day. We'll have all the exclusives.
And if you missed any of the show, you can listen to it tomorrow on all of your favorite podcast platforms, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
We in tune in too?
Yes, we are.
Beautiful. On behalf of Luigi Curto, follow him at Luigi Curto 22. On behalf of all of our staff here, our great sponsor, Thin Optics. Thin Optics is always with you wherever you go. Go on the website, check out the unbelievable assortment of the greatest invention since Nick Foles. Thin Optics. Put it on the back of your phone. I give one to Jim Rome. Everybody wants one. You can get one. And, of course, Cantina Laredo. here in the Mall of America, King of Prussia, all over the country.
Our fabulous
and don't
wardrobe,
forget,
Domenica's.
for people that are here,
yes,
from there that are here at Stop by Mall of America, we got some special giveaways from Cantina Laredo
That's
for
right.
you. So if you come by, you're going to get free tableside guac.
Tableside guac and a complimentary casarita.
So we
just for coming up here and saying, I love Tony Bruno. Even Robert Grussman may go to Cantina Laredo and take part of this.
All you have to do is tell us,
stuff.
gracias, Tony.
Say, gracias, Tony Bruno. Signor Bruno. And Domenico, well, you'll see Luigi and I all week. Styling and profiling.
The shoes
Yes,
just
and
came
actually,
in today.
I will be styling and profiling from the Dress Me Up boutique across.
Dress Up Time.
Yeah, Dress Up Time
Dress Up
boutique
Time.
across the street from them.
Speaking of time, it's about damn time.
It's about damn
we wrap
time.
this thing up.
We'll see you tonight and then again tomorrow right here, live at Radio Row. Super Bowl 52 in the Mall of America. Be careful out there, kids.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling the transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up
Robin?
the volume.
Just leave it
If
dangling
we
there.
wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We